This should be one of the glamour matches in the first round of the 1992 Foster's Cup. Adelaide versus Carlton from Football Park. Adelaide, who thrilled their fans in their opening season in 91, and Carlton, one of the few teams capable of upsetting the Crows at home. It's Adelaide versus Carlton, first round, Foster's Cup. Hello and welcome to Football Park in Adelaide. First round clash of the Foster's Cup between the Adelaide Crows and Carlton. A big crowd already in attendance, something over 20,000, and building all the time. And expectation in this city, as you would expect, is very high in the second season for the Crows. Carlton, their opponents tonight, are very well known in this city because of the Kernahan brothers and also that man there, Craig Bradley, who made such a mark as a player with Port Adelaide. The captains and the coaches for 1992, no surprises, the same as last year. Graham Corns and Chris McDermott for the Adelaide Crows, and David Parkin and Stephen Kernahan. So we have two very good friends, McDermott and Kernahan, who have played a lot of football together over the years and have been mates, opposing captains. Welcome Gerard Healy to the microphone. Gerard, there's been a little bit of confusion about Carlton's squad tonight. Adelaide looks to be pretty straightforward. Yes, there's been a couple of late changes, but it's almost like a final here. You wouldn't expect it. It's February the 18th. It's a fantastic atmosphere, and I've been down on the ground, and the surface is immaculate. It's like carpet down there, so there shouldn't be any excuses for poor skills. Looking at the squads, of course, we've got a pretty handy lineup for Adelaide. There's going to be a lot of pressure, of course, on Hodges. Only 30 goals last year after a big year, the previous one for Port Adelaide. But there's three first gamers in. Anthony Ingerson, a centre-half forward from Central Districts. Brenton Sanderson, vice-captain of the Teal Cup squad in 1990. And Adam Saliba, who's come in to replace Andrew Jarman. He'll be a big loss, but I believe Saliba's an excellent player with terrific skills and a great football brain. And for the Blues, and we have had some changes here. Fotia and James have been late inclusions, Gerard. Yes, late inclusions. Tom Elvin and Ian Aitken have been dropped from the initial squad. But I think Carlton did extremely well in pre-draft choices, picking up Earl Spalding, who could well be one of the recruits of the year, and Brett Scholl, the captain of North Melbourne's last under-19 premiership side. Well, Gerard and myself will be joined by Dennis Cometti throughout the commentary, and Max Stevens on the boundary line and in the dressing rooms. And here's Max with the Mitsubishi Motors ground report. Good evening.
Good evening, Bruce. Ideal conditions here in Adelaide over the last couple of days. At 12:30 today, we reached our top of 25.6. Unfortunately, it's going to chill right out down to 14 degrees. Currently, we're on 19.7, and our humidity tonight, 41% for the players. The wind, 15 to 20 kilometres, blowing straight down the ground, right to left of screen. Goal advantage, well, we would say around 3 to 4 goals maybe. The ground condition, as per usual here at Football Park, excellent condition, and the forecast, fine and mild. So summing up, a good story there from Max Stevens. We take a break, back with the opening bounce after this.
Welcome back, Dominic Fotio, a late inclusion along with Michael James, as Gerard Healy's already told us. 4 by 20-minute quarters in the Foster's Cup. Time on added as soon as the boundary and goal umpire signal. There's the Adelaide bench, Pittman, Saliba, Patterson amongst the 4 there. And there's James, the other late inclusion. Now, no drawn games in this competition. If the scores are level at the end of the 4 quarters, time on to be played. 2 by 5-minute periods. So we see the 4 players coming off for Carlton. Kernahan has won the toss. He's kicking to the left, as you'd expect, with the breeze. So Fotio and James, 2 of the late inclusions, will start on the interchange along with Dunlop. Michael Abbott and John Harvey, Mike tonight, the 2 umpires.
Carlton look to have a 2-pronged centre-half forward attack. Stephen Kernahan and Earl Spalding are both lining up at centre-half forward, with Milan Hanna at full forward.
So we've told you about the changes. This crowd has built up in the last quarter of an hour. It'll be around 30,000. The Blues go to the left. Micken against Madden. Micken, the club champion last year. Madden, who's won that title at Carlton. Micken towards Dorotich, who made a name for himself again at centre-half back in the last half a dozen games last year. Pays and Bradley, who's played so many games out here in the past. O'Sullivan caught, gets a handball away. Herman tried to go off the ground. McGuinness, the handball to Brown was from Smith to Pays. McDermott, Clued, who was one of the success stories last year, to centre-half forward. Hodges the target.
And he comes in front. The mark is held by Ingerson. Anthony Ingerson, 60 metres out from goal towards the pocket. Jamison in front of Dean, the 235s.
Anthony Ingerson won the best and fairest for Central Districts last year, and they're calling him the Great Wide Hope here in Adelaide. A good player at centre-half forward, and of course they missed out on Stephen Kernahan, so they're looking to him to fill that breach.
Ingemar Johansson was the last. Here's Jamison. He'll kick from 30 metres out. Misses to the near side. Minus score. First blood to the Adelaide Crows. There's the time remaining. Early days yet.
He's the last to win, Dennis. There's been a few since him that haven't quite won.
He did it. Didn't last long. This is Ratton in the back pocket. Goes towards the outer side. In front of Sullivan. Good strong mark. Has the ball on the wing. Plays on immediately. Kicks towards half forward. Kernahan outnumbered 2-1, but marks it nevertheless. Kernahan right half forward.
Kicked 5 goals when he last played on this ground against Adelaide. The kick to Hanna in the pocket. Hanna used as a forward at the Melbourne Showgrounds against Essendon in a trial match last week and kicked 6.
It's good to see him playing in front too, Bruce. Last year he did try to take the mark from behind and rove the ball, but at full forward, if he's going to stay there, he must lead from in front.
In the pocket. Oh, good looking kick. Has he scored? He has a goal. Well, if he can kick like that, you want to play him up forward. So the Blues get the first goal. They lead 6-1.
It's a great start to Milan Hanna. I believe he's at the crossroads. He's a little bit inconsistent and must make this year his. We see at the kicker an extremely tight angle, but with the wind blowing down the ground, he did the right thing in setting it out in front of the goals, and the wind did the rest.
Micken, who resurrected his career in 1991. O'Sullivan, who's had 3 touches already. That one round the corner to centre half forward. Kernahan way out in front. Chance now for Scholl, one of the 2 recruits playing for the Blues tonight. Maynard on the bottom had an ankle worry. Played all of the games for the Crows last year, along with Scott Lee. And Grantley Filkey, who's missed out tonight. There's Bassett.
Bounce inside the 50. Rucks go at it. Micken. One down though by the big fellow Kernahan. Tregenza's hand pass. Very quick. Micken couldn't control it. Pays on his knees in there. Eventually McGuinness comes away. Well played. Smith. Back to the run of McGuinness. Boots it out wide towards centre wing. It's a foot race out there. Glasgow in front. Rowe remains standing. Big opportunity now for the Crows. Rowe, indecisive, eventually goes for distance inside the attacking 50. Hodges was up. The mark is claimed by Madden. Not paid. Did well. Got it to Dean. This is Verbeek. He's at left half back towards centre wing. O'Sullivan wrestling with Pays. Pays gets back first. Lays it off nicely. McDermott measures the hand pass. Sends Tregenza away on a collision course with Verbeek, but got by him. Tregenza 70 metres out from goal. Too much carry on the kick. And Kernahan takes the mark.
Gee, it was a poor kick, wasn't it? Now Bradley with a bounce. Steadies. Props and kicks it into the centre. Spalding. Wide. His first game for Carlton tonight. Arsiri in the front spot. Got plenty of attention there from Bickley. From the edge of the centre square, the target, Bassett, has got a height advantage on Lee. Micken just lays it down for Lee in the end, who squares it. Tasker pays away.
Towards the wing. It stays in. Kluger's first back. Does well. Tregenza. High kick down towards half-forward, ill-directed. Madden uncontested. Drops the mark. Rogues his own miss. Rennett's in trouble. Spills to Dean. Stood up in the tackle. Did it nicely. Dorotich. Madden, if you don't mind. Gets it across to Ratton. Lays it off to Herman. Probing kick inside the 50. Hannah from behind. Almost the mark in front. Not held by the Crows. Bickley, the crumbs, was taken high. And he will get the free kick. Bickley plays on immediately. This is Micken in the back pocket to Lee. Up towards half-back. Kicks towards the wing. Good kick too. McDermott made to stretch. Bad luck for the Crows. He couldn't hang on.
So McDermott's had a few knee problems over the summer. He gets his knee regularly drained, and so he's playing with some discomfort, but as we've seen, he's a person that can handle a few of the harder things in his football game.
Bradley round the corner from Madden. Kernahan waited. Maynard took the chance, took his eye off it though, and then a slick handball there by Herman. Arsiri keeps his footage well tackled though by Bickley. Impossible to get rid of for Arsiri. They're both running at the same pace and in the same direction. Grabbed hold of one arm and took him. Tasker's kick to Smith is a good one. He's got a chance here if he moves it on quickly to Marshall. He does. Brown on the mark. Marshall's high ball. Dorotich and Ingerson. Glasgow, the veteran. Half forward. Kernahan almost a one-hander. Smith getting a couple of touches. Herman. Oh, good mark, Hannah. Against Tasker. And this a little easier, but only relatively from his first shot. Still a difficult one, but he was tucked up against the boundary. Maybe a shade closer in when he goaled 4 or 5 minutes ago. This will still take a very good kick from just over 40 metres out. Drop punt, misses behind. So the Blues are 1-1 and the Crows are a point.
Mil Hannah, jack of all trades last season, kicked 23 goals in 21 matches. Has one tonight. Tasker boots in towards the pocket. Micken plays on immediately. McGuinness at his feet. Gets it across to Marshall, who draws a man. This is Smith. Goes in short. Sanderson, the youngster. Teal Kappa boots inside the attacking 50. Happy to get his first kick, but ill-directed. Dorotich goes back, claims the mark across the goal face. Setting a task for Scholl. He gathers the bouncing ball. Back it comes to Dean. Dean goes out wide. That was a clever hand pass. Verbeek, though, still in trouble. Back towards Dean on his own half-back line. Klug is closing. High kick from Dean. Spirals it down towards half-forward. Arsiri's in front. Fisted away by Bickley. Taken by McGuinness. He's at centre-half back. Chip passes. Sanderson slides in, takes the mark, plays on immediately. McGuinness running hard early, swings it out wide. Smith. Verbeek is coming across. Smith too nimble, as was Klug. Breaks the tackle. Short pass is on. Ingerson, finger tipper, couldn't hang on. Back it comes to Klug. In trouble. Still he goes, Klug, 60 metres out from goal. Ill-directed kick. Oh, clever mark. David Kernahan.
Adelaide's had some chances. Tregenza a couple, and then Klug. Now Bradley off David Kernahan. Wobbly one to the centre. Sporting, one hand. McGuinness, prominent early. Again, very short. Kicking into the breeze. Rowe. Well, just kept running into trouble, didn't they? Tried to get it to Brown in the end. Now Scholl. Bradley, who's playing a defensive role at the moment. Ratton, who's got quick hands. Scholl. Bradley. Always clever. Good kick inside. O'Sullivan misses. Pays with him. Through O'Sullivan's legs. Herman keeps it, knocking it forward. Arsuri, well played. Bickley. Pressure from Spalding. And as the Blues lead by a goal, it'll be a throw-in at half forward.
Will Spalding looking very fit and very eager. Played 22 games last season. Had more kicks, more marks and hand passes than in any of his previous 4 seasons. And yet finds himself at Carlton. McDermott goes down. Maynard away to Bickley. Tregenza goes over the top. This is Pays towards half forward. Well taken by Brown. He's on the wing. He pulls it back towards centre half forward. Carlton have got the numbers. Herman did well to trap it. Dorotic back to Herman, who breaks away and kicks towards half forward. It should be a Crows mark. No, Kernahan. He's got other ideas. Lacking support. O'Sullivan with strength breaks away. O'Sullivan 50 metres out. Feeds a hand pass. Spalding back to O'Sullivan. Closing on goal. Kicks it from 25 out. Carlton get their second. Carlton 2-1. Adelaide are behind.
It's a good goal from Luke Sullivan on the end of a bit of handball. If we see Stephen Kernahan here, if there has got one weakness to his game, it's his handball. Luke O'Sullivan mops up and ends up on the end of a handball and gets full value for his hard work with a goal.
Carlton 2-1 lead Adelaide a point. Blues kicking to the left, and with the aid of a couple of goal breeze. Now Brown, I should say. Fraser Brown to half forward. Spalding. Kernahan. Bassett and Hannah around his body with a high one. Smith underneath it.
Poor vision there from Hannah. Kernahan was on his own and he's kicked it to his man in Darren Smith, and they've lost possession.
Now Sanderson, who's had one kick and one handball to date. That left footer with little penetration. Verbeek. Not a particularly good effort there. Pays caught by Ratton. Verbeek. Now Sanderson again. Quick give to Rowe. He's had a couple of touches. Left foot to Marshall. His shoulder injury kept him out of the second half of last season. He started in spectacular style, the veteran Ingerson. Still Ingerson at centre half forward. Head down, looking for a free kick. Chance for Jamison. Smothered. Dean, still the pressure. Still with Dean. Little chip pass is a beauty.
This is Verbeek. Run down by Tregenza. Great pressure. Micken on the wing. Kernahan, strong tackle. Weight of numbers tell this story, though. Maynard pumps it back in towards half forward, and Klug goes up. Plays on immediately. Down towards the pocket. Jamison.
Yes, well, John Klug was the architect of many, many forward thrusts for the Crows last year. An excitable player who really can think on his feet under pressure. And we see here, typical example of Klug, looks up and pinpoints the pass.
A man who couldn't make it at Richmond. Played in the reserves there, about 30 games for them. Jamison bends one back and gets a goal. The Crows have their first, and they trail now by 6 points.
Yes, well, Jamison kicked 49 goals in 19 games last year. Started the year in the shadow of Hodges, but ended up the Crows' best target up forward. We see here the mark. Beautiful kick there from Klug. and a simple goal.
Seven to 13. Carlton by 6 points. Micken comfortably, but straight to Arceri. The tackle by Marshall. McDermott. Free kick to Arceri against Marshall. Deemed to be high. It's from the front. Spalding provides a lead. Arceri goes long. Kernahan the target. Maynard at the back. Bradley Shark cleverly. Scholl, clever handball in the end through the legs, but Kernahan caught. Rowe on the ground. Still with Scholl. Still Scholl. Tregenza with him. And it'll be the umpires.
There's been 4 ball-ups today, Bruce. And Carlton have taken it away 100% of the times. And the Crows must get in and get that ball at centre bounces.
Micken and Kernahan. Micken wins that one. Scholl again. The handball to Arceri. Quick give was good. Rennett's on his left foot. Wobbly kick and a clever mark in the end by Bickley, who goes across the ground, hoping for the numbers. Arceri might have the run of it. As he stopped in his tracks by Marshall, he is. Brown on the up to Maynard. This is where Adelaide had a lot of attack springboard from last year to Rowe. He just had to stop and wait for a moment. Bangs it towards Hodges, gives him a chance, and he takes a beauty. I reckon this is an important kick because he's a confidence player.
Well, his confidence must be soaring after that mark, Bruce. I think everybody at this ground realised that this player may hold the key to the Crows' fortunes this year.
He's 45 metres out. He's wobbled it there. Hasn't quite made it. Ratton on the up. Madden looking a little awkward in that situation and got the best result possible. Well, he excited them there, Hodges. So much asked of him last year. A sense of disappointment at the end.
Boundary throw in. Madden wins it down. Jamieson dragged down. Sanderson does well. Klug confronted. Scholl got him. Verbeek gets it away. Rennett's. And away comes Arceri. Probing kick towards half forward. Spalding the target. Almost a clever mark. Smith does well. Held without it surely. No free kick. Play goes on. Bradley now. High hand pass taken by Maynard. Tackled by Kernahan, who goes after it again with courage. O'Sullivan. Smith. Clever hands. Quick hands to Tregenza. A hand pass. Worth a kick really, and off the ground Maynard. Rowe does well. Tregenza. Hurried kick. Not very good. Herman. Klug did well. Stood his ground. Like a cork in the ocean. McGuinness bobbed to his feet. Gets it across to Maynard. Runners everywhere now. Brown to McGuinness. Measures the kick. 40 metres out. This will bring the house down. Scores a level at Football Park. Tony McGuinness. Inspirational goal. They worked hard for that one.
Couldn't have said it better myself. The Crows certainly did put in the hard toil there for that goal. And Tony McGuinness, who has really got away from Ian Herman in his first quarter, finishes with a lovely left foot goal.
Well, he's done it before, hasn't he, McGuinness at Football Park? Really inspired as he did then. Scores level, Micken wins it, and for the first time, Gerard Healy, Adelaide take it away. They don't get it all that far, but a chance now. Rowe, who's had a lot of touches. McDermott, Ingerson breaks a tackle. Left foot, wobbles it. Doesn't go very far. Marshall with some sort of a chance. Dean with him. Jamieson, the little give inside. The smother off the boot of McDermott. Carlton hold it up.
Yes, it shows what a difference winning the ball out of the centre does make, though, Bruce, when you consider that now the Crows are starting this bounce only 30 metres out of their goal. He's been impressive, Ingerson, for a first game player. Knows how to get the ball. There is a doubt on his left foot kick.
Madden missed Scholl. Tregenza goes backwards. Chance for McDermott. Goal square. Carlton with the numbers. Does Dorotich take it? Not paid. Should have been. Hodges ridden in the ground. Brown to Dorotich. He's on his left side. Drills it to Glasgow.
The veteran in the back pocket. Plays on. Finds Ratton. The defensive side of half-back. Swings it out wide. Bickley and Bradley. Bickley does well. Got a fist on that one. But still to be tested here by a very skilled opponent. Drags Bradley down. Bradley to get the free kick. Craig Bradley on the outer side. towards half forward. Kernahan outnumbered. Matters not. Yes, it does. He's been penalised.
A good decision there. I think Darren Smith had the hands on the ball early.
Playing well, Smith, isn't he?
Yes, he's under the pressure though. It could be his last chance at centre half back.
Lee got it to Brown. He goes towards half forward. They all fell down. Glasgow over the shoulder to the voice of Brown. Rose got him. The hand pass goes towards the boundary line. Good policy, and it will be thrown in. 13 points apiece then on a glorious Adelaide night. Temperature in the mid-20s.
So Darren Smith played an excellent State of Origin game for South Australia in '89 and was then drafted by Essendon, but has since struggled and is trying to come to terms with AFL. They've tried him at centre half forward a couple of times. I think centre half back will be his last opportunity.
Brown and Reynolds combining on the outer side. Again, Kernahan confronted by quite a few Crows, as he always does. He battles on, and that time he won. Spalding tried to go off the ground. Bickley showed a lot of courage.
Kick back to Smith, who enhances his chances with that bit of play to Rowe, who kicks to centre half forward. Klug, who's got great skills. Quick one on to Jamison. Klug can really play, can he?
He's a freak with those hands, Bruce. I can tell you now, he's most unlucky to miss out on the All-Australian side. And when you consider that play there, the brilliance of the hands, and we see here the left foot kick under pressure, pinpoints Jamison once again.
They're still making apologies for that tee.
Well, you were a selector, Gerard.
I said he was close. Maybe this year.
Well, Jamison from 35 metres out, drop punt. Scores. Doesn't miss too many, does he? So Jamison's second, and the Crows suddenly in front after the Blues got the fly.
There's 3 quick goals to the Crows. We see here Darren Smith, excellent play, taking the mark under pressure, lays the ball off, and this is the mark we want to see. The left hand flicks it in with the right. The quick thinking is one of Klug's greatest assets, though.
Rod Jamison has 2 goals, and the Crows have the lead by 6 points. Bradley overran it. O'Sullivan, that's ambitious. Kernahan in trouble. Off the ground by Madden towards half forward. Ratton's got the run of it now. 55 metres out from goal. That's a magnificent kick by Ratton. It's a goal. Oh, terrific kick. Scores a level.
As for Brett Ratton, played 20 games last year. He's one of the success stories for Carlton last year. A midfielder wearing a pretty famous jumper. Wayne Johnson had loved the way this boy has kicked this goal. And he would have kicked many of those in his career, obviously with the left foot. But once again, the value of the quick get out of the centre. And Justin Madden really dominating proceedings in there.
Let's see how he goes here. Favoured by the bounce. Rennett's caught. Glasgow again. Carlton able to get it from the centre square. The point that Gerard Healy's been making. Arsiri. Bickley goes wide. Good kick. Brown, who broke his way into this team halfway through last season, to centre half forward. Klug, another one-hander. Yes, sirree.
It's a great jumping act here at the park at the moment.
Well, this might test his distance for kicking, but there's no question mark over his skill level. Saw Hodges from maybe a couple of metres closer in not quite make it. Klug sits back, times it pretty well, but doesn't kick it straight to the goal square. Hodges was in the front spot. Scholl should run it out, and he does. So Adelaide would be fairly happy. Here's Klug again.
Yeah, on the replay we see Klug holding his player out with the right hand and trapping the ball with the left. The Carlton player went to ground and it was all his.
Boundary throw in. Madden wins it forward. Verbeek having a tough night so far. Glasgow gets it away to Bradley. Kicks it towards half-back. Awkward bounce. Eventually Maynard, who was third in the queue, gets it. Squares it. McDermott. Hayes forward of the wing. Not a good kick. Dorotich in front. Juggles it but holds it. John Dorotich. Can he find some form this season? Not with a kick like that. Marshall must have been on his team somewhere, sometime. Rowe, left half forward. 3 Carlton players queue up for that one. David Kernahan takes the mark.
Yes, well, Klug's the exception. The Crows are really suffering from their delivery into the forward line.
Towards midfield. Finds his brother. Steve Kernahan will kick from half back towards half forward. Hannah outnumbered. Off hands taken by Bickley. Away to Micken. Hurried kick towards midfield. Maynard down the ground with Kernahan and beats him one out. Kicks towards half forward. Madden's in the road.
So for the half dozenth time, Adelaide find a Carlton player across half back. Sanderson's handball, okay to Micken. Clever in the end of Tregenza, and that's a typical Tregenza kick. About 2 out of 10. No penetration, straight up in the air, giving McGuinness little chance. Carlton bench.
He chips the ball a lot, Tregenza, and one wonder sometimes whether he's actually running too fast to get good contact with the foot.
Used to kick a lot of goals for Port Adelaide in the early days, but didn't last year on a wing for the Crows. Here's O'Sullivan, McDermott, and Dorotich in the box seat. Ingerson. Good contest this one. Reynolds went without it. Brown. Marshall had to sit and wait. Good hands to Ingerson. Fight behind players. Ingerson kicks it to the goal square. Still a chance for the Crows. Kernahan off the ground as the fight continues. Klug sits and waits. Still waits for it. Runs it out of play, and the fight has been broken up.
I don't know who was keen to define the other, Tregenza or Glasgow. They just drifted away from the fight.
Not quite Fenwick Nelson.
Mark your man at all times, and they did. Boundary throw in. Ingerson wins it forward. Dorotich in trouble. Scholl can't keep it in. And the ball's out of bounds. Well, Gerard, where will they get the best from John Dorotich, do you think? It's got to be a make or break season for him.
Certainly has. He was under a lot of pressure, but resurrected his season last year. 6 fine games at centre half back. And if it wasn't for those, I think we may have found him in the draft in October.
Madden and Klug on the siren. They had a history back in round 17 last season. And these two developing something. O'Sullivan and Pays. And Sanderson goes in, the young fellow. But at quarter time, it's Carlton 3-1 and the Adelaide Crows 3-1.
Quarter time at Football Park, scores level 3-1 apiece. Carlton and Adelaide, a big weekend of football coming up in Foster's Cup. Lavington Saturday afternoon 2:30 Eastern time, Essendon versus Sydney. Saturday evening from Waverley Park 8:30 Eastern time, Hawthorn versus Richmond, also a first round game. Correction, that is a quarter final because Richmond's already won and Hawthorn got a run through to the quarter final by being the champions. And then on Sunday, back to a first round match from Hobart, North Hobart at 1:30 Fitzroy, North Melbourne. Again, check your local guides for telecast details there, as Max Stevens has been listening in a quarter time.
Well, Bruce, David Parker, no ranting and raving. He was pretty happy with the way the Blues performed, particularly in defence. He said they're attacking the ball, and that's what he wants. Now, also their work rate around the centre bounces and bounces around the ground. He said they're winning those. However, they'll need to lift as Adelaide has the advantage of the win this quarter. Graham Corns told his players they lacked a few opportunities, or let a few opportunities go early in that first term. A bit of a rap for Tony McGuinness, that goal he kicked, and Darren Smith, a player that started in the forward line in his career and tonight playing at centre half back. And he's told them, you've got the wind, kick it straight down the middle and use it to your advantage in this second quarter.
All set to go. Thanks for that, Max. Jamison with 2 for Adelaide in the opening quarter. Crows go to the left. A bit of a go on between McGuinness and Herman off the ball there. Adelaide quickly. Ingerson, Marshall, who's a long kick. That one's to the goal square. And Dean, who's Mr. Reliable at Carlton. Dorotic slips catch in the back pocket.
As I would have thought that Parkin has given Ian Herman the hurry up. He has the job on McGuinness. Hasn't been within a bull's roar of him tonight.
Well, he was a moment ago. Maynard at the back of Kernahan did the job. Jamison, Bradley over the top, looks for the free kick off the ground. Ingerson, Klug, those very good hands of his to Sanderson to kick his first goal for Adelaide, and does do that. Well, that'll give that young fellow a lift because he's the youngest player ever to play for the Crows.
Yes, he's a weights instructor. And as you can see, he's quite well developed for a 17-year-old. There's no question that this man that's about to get the ball here is the architect and the key to the Crows side. If you can stop him setting up the forward thrust for the Crows, well, you're going a long way to stopping them as a side.
Madden and Micken. Brown had it, then lost it. Klug cleverly on his knees, but got it to Marshall. Marshall goes down towards the pocket. Hodges on the lead, couldn't hang on. It runs free behind and goes out of bounds in the left full forward pocket. Adelaide leading by 6 points. Scott Hodges, spectacular mark in the opening term. Madden works his way in front and wins it back across the boundary line. Justin Madden received more free kicks than any other player in the AFL last season. Pittman about to come on. It's Justin. Must be his charm. Wins it forward. Bradley couldn't control it. Sanderson confronted, and the ball goes out of bounds once more. Throw in just inside the attacking 50 then for Adelaide as Micken comes off to warm applause. Once again, Madden with a new rival this time. Wins it down. Bradley needs support. Gets it. Rennett's out of the back pocket. Hoisted high towards half-back. Bassett comes in from the side. It's fisted away strongly there by Pittman just on the ground. And yet another boundary throw-in.
Yes, well, Ingerson is trying to tackle Justin Madden from behind. He's got no hope about reaching him. He must start in front and back into him, as you'll see Klug doing here.
Enabling McDermott to come over the back. Marshall's handball good. Brown towards full forward. At the back, Jamison. Good mark. Dorotic in the front. Kept his eye on it. Took it from the toughest place possible. Madden. Marshall. Well, he loves to kick long goals. That one's to the goal square. A one-out situation. Dorotic about to get back to help out. Glasgow on the up. Finds Dean. Squares it to Kernahan. Some experience there, not a particularly good kick. Tregenza turns onto his left side, high left footer, not good. And for the third time, Simon Tregenza kicks it to a Carlton player at half-back. Rennett's this time to Scholl.
Scholl forward of half-back. Through the wing towards half-forward. Bickley is down there with Arsiri. Well done by Bickley. Kept his balance in an awkward situation. Arsiri came back strongly. Should get a free kick. And will. Plays on immediately. Lays it off. Bradley down towards the half-forward line. Pittman under the ball, and the clever mark is taken by Kernahan, going back with the flight of it. Centres it now. Ratton. He's 35 metres out. Ratton. No one near him. The kick is close. It's bending back. Not sufficiently, though. A behind. Adelaide lead by 5 points. Tasker to bring it in. 49 last season, down to number 4 this year. Ian Cover in inside football will be happy with that. Smith gets a hand pass away. Tasker runs down the ground and boots towards centre wing. Dorotich up. Good mark. That was a good grab.
Kick 5 goals, as Stephen Kernahan did when Carlton upset Adelaide in the second round at Football Park last year. Pays, McDermott. Free kick against Adelaide.
Yes, I think the crowd reaction tells the story there, Bruce. Fairly soft free kick. But it could be a very damaging turnover for the Crows.
O'Sullivan the recipient. Centre half forward. Madden pushed out of it by Pittman, and will get a free kick.
Yeah, so the height's really worrying the Crows on the forward line. Justin Madden's sneaking down there now.
And pinpoints it to Hannah.
And with Earl Spalding and Stephen Kernahan rotating through the centre half forward and forward pocket positions, they just seem a little bit tall for their respective opponents at the present time.
Hannah's kicked 1-1. First goal was excellent. Will this be number 2? 35 metres out, directly in front, lays back, drop punt, kicks it very poorly. And maybe goals and kicking as we go to the right is not all that easy, because we saw the Crows waste a lot of opportunities going into attack. Now Pays wants it short, and he'll get it from Tasker. Bit of space. Drop punt. He was looking for Marshall, outnumbered. Brown. Quick give to Rennett's. Tries to break a tackle. McGuinness falls over. Madden. Handball was very good to Bassett, to Rennett's, the 1-2. Tries to come back towards Hannah. Very good kick and an excellent mark. Gee, it was a good play by Rennett's. Because the first time he looked up, he would have seen nothing but Crows.
Here we see Milan Hannah flying behind. He's a talented player, but he must start putting these opportunities through. He could well have had 3 goals already. He's lining up for his second.
Hooked it. Well, he's doing a Stewie Lowe, who kicked 4 points for St Kilda in the second quarter against Geelong last Wednesday night in Melbourne.
Yes, didn't take the opportunities, and we saw Geelong came home. I'm just wondering if this could well prove to be the same result.
Well, he's soft-hearted, Hannah, as far as they're concerned here at Football Park so far. Let them off the hook a few times. Around the outer side, Bickley's kick, marked by Smith. Wants to play on. Some indecision, but runners to both sides. Tregenza's got it now. This is Marshall from right half forward. It falls in short. Should have been marked down there by Dean. Rennett's behind, clears the zone, and sets Big Justin a task. Lee too nimble, 55 metres out from goal, pulls it back for the kickoff line. Back goes David Kernahan, big pack in the air. Jamison's got it. Here's trouble for Carlton. Jamison snaps it, looks good. It's a goal. Adelaide at 5-1, Carlton up 3-4.
Yes, well, that was a good move from the Crows, and we see here Scott Lee using his extra mobility, gets round Justin Madden. An ugly scrimmage there, but Jamison stays on the pack. He's a great goal sneak. Has good knowledge of where the goals are, and that's his 3rd goal. Good start to him for the season.
Jamison 3 out of 5 for Adelaide. 31-22, the Crows lead. Pittman went early against Madden, nullified him. McDermott tried to get a handball away. Marshall off the ground. Brown to Scholl. Pays and O'Sullivan. Pays working it in front. O'Sullivan pressure. And Bickley and Bradley. Dunlop getting ready. Bradley and Stephen Kernahan both played 136 games for Carlton, not counting the Foster's Cup. Started in the 1 year. Had a remarkable record of consistency. Here's Bickley, who was a very good player in the first quarter. Bangs it to Ingerson and Dorotic. Gee, this should suit McGuinness. It will sit. Dorotic did a good job, though. Sanderson, Dorotic, Herman, McGuinness. Well, maybe I was jumping the gun, Jared, but I had visions of McGuinness taking that one, balancing and banging it.
I'm sure Tony McGuinness had the same visions too, but John Dorotic showed a good turn of speed there. He's very mobile for his size and is playing quite well across half-back.
His opponent is Ingerson. He's playing his first game R-Series. Kick. Pays in front of O'Sullivan and probably getting the better of O'Sullivan.
Yes, he's reading the ball a hell of a lot better than Luke O'Sullivan, playing in front, getting full advantage.
Well, outnumbered there, Adelaide. Reynolds tried to get through. Brown. Now James, who's come onto the ground. McDermott and also Verbeek, pretty willing in there.
Michael James. Bounce about 60 metres out from goal. Over the top, Ingerson gets it down. McDermott taken high as he kicked. It will come back. McDermott will get the free. Taken high in the act of kicking, so not a relayed free kick. Crowd not happy about it.
Exquisite skills there by McDermott. Took the ball well and sold a magnificent dummy.
Centering kick. Hodges has it fisted away. Justin goes back, goes off the ground. Lucky it was smothered. Jamison in deep trouble, deep in the pocket. And Scholl runs it out of bounds. It will be thrown in down there. With Adelaide working their way on top, one senses now. 5-1 to 3-4. Dean and Jamison. Meantime, the action. Siri clearing kick towards half-back. Kernahan a long way up the ground, applies the tackle. Sanderson going nowhere. Kernahan had it, then lost it. It spills wide. Bradley an opportunity. Tregenza too quick for him though. Hard against the boundary line. He pulls it back. All Carlton down there. Hodges got a fist on it. Here's Brown. 25 metres out from goal. Pulls it back. This could be, I was going to say, a miracle goal. It was a good poster.
And it's a good play by Scott Hodges there. He was outmanned. Didn't have the height to get over Justin Mann, but he did importantly bring the ball to ground and almost saw a goal result from his efforts.
Margin is 10 points as Kernahan kicks in. Good kick too. Reynolds on the burst.
At half-back. Centres towards Stephen Kernahan. Gets a free kick. Advantage paid to Scholl. Hannah the target. Tasker the front spot. Play on call. O'Sullivan on the best side for him, the left hand. Kick, rolling, but sitting up. Pays. Good kick.
It was poor play by Luke O'Sullivan. Spalding was there on his own. Should have been an easy shot at goal for Spalding if he had received it, but O'Sullivan went for the long pot at goal.
Marshall the 1-2 from Sanderson. Pittman tried to half volley it. James goes to ground. Hip and shoulder from Marshall. Verbeek. Asiri. Glasgow. Started his career in 81. Back to Asiri. Herman wanted it. Asiri decided to go on. Drop punts it towards full forward. Bradley gets himself into a good position. At the back, Bickley sweeps a handball, hoping that the Crows will be on the end of it. They are. Pittman. Lee to Sanderson, who's making some sort of a mark. To half forward. Ingerson outnumbered here. It comes to ground. Dorotic will want the boundary line and gets it.
Yes, well, the Crows have upped the ante in the pressure department. They're now using the gang tackle, 2s and 3s running at Carlton, putting pressure on them. And Carlton are making some uncustomary skill mistakes.
Madden off, Sexton coming on.
Siri hugs the boundary line with a scrambled kick. Marshall takes it across. There's Madden. Had a bit of running to do so far in this term, and feeling the effects. It is quite a warm night, although as Max told us the temperature will get down to about 14 after the game. McDermott goes off the ground. So often the standard setter. Jamison to Klug, and customary fumble there from Klug, and it cost the Crows. So a ball up about 30 metres out from the Crows' attacking goal. They lead by 10 points midway through the term. Playing better now. Spalding goes up, one down by Ingerson. McGuinness 35 metres out, back across his body, and I think it hit the post again. It did. So did Kernahan. So two posters have increased the lead, but it could have been bigger.
As Michael Sexton's gone to full forward as Earl Spalding's gone up onto the ball. But Spalding, I think, has given the Blues an absolute advantage in their use of their big players. Each time I see the Blues coming forward, they've almost got two centre-half forwards. On big grounds like this, Kernahan will get sucked up the ground, and to have that extra option in the hole 45 metres out from goal is a massive advantage.
Spalding wins against Ingerson. Brown outnumbered. Rowe caught. James kept his eye on it, then should get a free kick. McDermott right over the top, no free kick. Going back to that shot a moment ago for the Crows, hitting the post. I know Kernahan's hand touched the post, but she had a good look at it. Looked a goal.
Did it?
Absolutely. Spalding, I think that's why the reaction from the back. I know it's a biased crowd here. Arsiri. Left-hand handball, good to Scholl. To Bradley. They made some space very cleverly, Carlton. Hannah's the target. He runs to meet it. Tasker. To Smith. A pressure situation. Well, a comedy of errors. Dennis couldn't help but laugh. Just couldn't find the footy, Dennis. He knew it was there somewhere.
The ultimate team man.
Just wanted to give it away.
Needs a bell in it.
Anybody will do. Even a blue. Behind. 5-3-3-5. Well, I guess it can happen to anyone. Jared's quiet.
I didn't want to be too hard on him this early in the season.
No, he's played well so far, but that time trying to do the right thing when he should have attacked the ball. Just looked odd. Bickley. Tasker back to Bickley, up from the back pocket. He's played very well, Bickley, in defence. High kick towards the wing. Dorotic, the leaper, got hands to it, couldn't hang on. Now an opportunity for the Blues. Kernahan away to James, goes looking for the lead. Wide of the target, though. It was offered by Bassett down there. The hand pass comes from Lee. This is Tregenza, forward of the back pocket towards the wing, and how quickly things turn around. Moments ago, Carlton had a chance. Now Brown sends the Crows forward inside the attacking 50. Dorotic went back with courage, couldn't mark it. Kernahan to Renitz. Glasgow measures the hand pass. Dean on the overlap, up from the back pocket, kicks towards the wing. Herman, courageous attempt to mark there by Marshall. Couldn't quite hang on. Dexterity shown by Pittman initially, but then he lost it. Sliding in was Herman. Back comes Pittman. Raked out of there by Bickley. Well done. Sends Sanderson away. Down towards half forward. Spearing kick. Hodges on the lead. Drops the mark. Should have held it. Kernahan robs him of the ball. Hand passes back. Looking for support. This is Glasgow. Confronted by Hodges. And out of bounds it goes. Well, some very good play and some very mediocre play in that exchange.
Yes, well, Sanderson did look good in that passage of play. His disposal looks excellent at 184 centimetres. He could be the tall wingman that the Crows are looking for. Give them an extra option at kickouts. Got a fine future by the looks of this early piece of play.
Scholl round the body. Kernahan with two against him. Maynard and Pittman. As Patterson's getting ready to come on for the Crows. We've mentioned already Sanderson, 17 years of age, turns 18 on February 27. The day the squad's going to be announced. He'll be in the 52. It'll be a good birthday present. Pittman to Rowe, to centre half forward. Verbeek beaten by Klug, who is very different to any other player. Jamison wrestling with Dean, didn't give a free kick away. Dean towards the boundary line. And it runs out, Herman going to ground.
Time seems to expand when Klug gets the ball. He seems to be going in about 3 different gears less than the rest of the players on the ground.
We're all guilty of exaggeration calling, but he is different. He's quite unique. Sanderson, Jamison, caught, pushed down and holding the football. Well, he had an opportunity.
Well, Dean should have got a kick a moment ago, didn't. Now he gets one. This is Bradley up from the back pocket. Pinpoints the ball. Scholl, who's been quite impressive, kicks around the outer side wing. Lee, intent on destruction, flies over the top and gets it forward. Tregenza into the hole. This is Rowe, close to the boundary line, pulls it back towards the pocket. Not a good kick. Should have pulled it back a lot squarer. It bounces out of bounds, right full forward for the Crows.
Good play from Scott Lee there. Played every game last year, and he bases his game on discipline. Punches from behind, does the right thing, follows coach's orders, and we see now the ball turned over through his good efforts on half-back.
Spalding in front, Ingerson with him. Spalding decisively. McGuinness in trouble, claimed by Glasgow. Still he battles after the ball. Spalding at close quarters. Herman. Hot potato in there. Rowe emerges with it. Rowe about 35 metres out from goal. Snaps, and that's a good effort. The former West Australian gets the goal. And Adelaide increase their lead. They skip away now to 6-3. Carlton a 3-5, and the alarm bell sounding for the Blues.
This Carlton certainly have had enough play to make the scores a little bit closer, but they haven't made good of their efforts up forward. Once again, solid tackling there. Jamison gives Rowe the opportunity. He finishes off with a fairly difficult snap around the left.
Establishing a break now, Adelaide, of 16 points. Pittman unopposed. Rowe, who kicked that goal a moment ago. Glasgow. Bassett to Spalding. On his left foot, Hannah the target. Good kick, Spalding. Hannah paid the mark.
Yeah, definitely a mark. Crowd aren't happy, but had control of the ball before it was punched away.
A tough crowd to work, aren't they?
Not easy, but it hasn't been easy for Hannah either in this second term. He's had a couple of very good opportunities to goal, and at that one he lays back and puts it straight through. 2-3 for Hannah, and the Blues stay in touch. An important goal at 4-5 to 6-3.
So here we see on the replay Bassett with the ball out of the centre. Earl Spalding driving the ball forward. And once again, Hannah in the front position. If he's going to make a success of full forward, he's going to have figures of 4-1 or 3-2. Can't miss goals from 30 metres out.
So Carlton breaking the sequence after 4 goals to Adelaide on the trot. They needed that one. 6-3, 4-5. Just under 5 minutes remaining till half-time. McDermott gets a fist on it. Klug on his knees in there. Not going very far. Let's go down to Max Stevens now. Max?
Dennis, Mark Micken has a slight shoulder strain. The doctor told me he can come back onto the ground. They're icing it at the moment, but according to the club doctor, they want to wait and see how Pittman performs, but Micken can come back on.
Yes, nice opportunity for Pittman and the club to take a look at him. There's Brown in the congestion. Hurried kick towards half forward. Dorotic was up, got a fist on the ball, but it went the wrong way. Bradley, well shepherded by Herman. Off to Dean. Little chip pass to James. They've got a spare man. Pays did well to tie him up. Still that man is on as O'Sullivan runs down the ground. Marshall is closing. O'Sullivan just gets away, running towards half forward, gets the hand pass off. Back it comes from Sexton to Brown. Brown towards the kickoff line. Tasker was up. It's taken there by Dean, and the defenders kick the goal. Peter Dean, what's he doing down there? Carlton get their second goal on the trot and pull back 5-5 to 6-3.
As we see on the replay, a good build-up. Bradley didn't really have an option there because Hannah was running back towards goal. And fortunately, Dean, uncustomarily roving the pack, picks up and kicks his first goal in 2 years.
So the Blues at 35 to 39. Peter Dean kicking the goal. Pittman winning the tap.
Bradley, who's had a lot of touches. Lee, no free kick. Bassett against him, Stephen Kernahan. Brown, clever. Marshall was going to square it, decides to now, has a couple of options. Jamison couldn't hold it.
Should have marked that, Bruce.
Still Jamison. Now Hodges, who's just been a bit anxious tonight after taking a screamer earlier on. And you did give us a delightful stat a moment ago, Gerard, that that was Dean's first goal in 2 years. He played every match, didn't he, last season?
He did. I didn't check 1989 either, so it may have been even a bit longer between drinks.
Herman thought that one was worth repeating. Here's Bradley with a bounce. James, not a good handball. Rennett's had to stop and wait, but got away from it. Now Lee, who was off. Tregenza. High ball. Hodges outnumbered. Dorotich. Rowan Ratton to the boundary line and finds it. And Carlton's done a very good job here, because the feeling 3 or 4 minutes ago was that they'd go in 4 goals behind at half-time, and they're within 4 points.
David Kernahan doing a good job at full forward. Hodges is working. Full back, exactly. Hodges is working well, but Kernahan is wearing him like a glove.
Ratton runs it across the boundary line again. So Adelaide leading by 4 points, approaching half-time. Of course, the Crows got to the semi-finals of the Foster's Cup last season. They lost to North Melbourne. The winner of this game plays Footscray on the 29th of February at Waverley. Spalding, who's done pretty well tonight. Bradley, nicely. Scholl weaves his magic there and gets it away. This is Verbeek running up towards centre half back. Kicks through midfield. Sexton's got it. Brown on the wing. No one to kick to. Trying, I think, to get it out of bounds. And if that was his intention, that is a magnificent kick.
Well, there was a fair thought amongst the recruiting personnel that this year's draft was had less than its usual amount of talented players. And so the clubs that have done well in the pre-draft moves are the real winners. And on tonight's form, Scholl and Spalding. And there was one other player I think they picked up. Williams, I think his name was. Could well prove to be the big recruits of the year.
Boundary throw in, right half forward. The Blues trailing by 4 points, but in attack. Pittman cleverly. Maynard collided with McGuinness. Quick hands away to Brown. That kick with intent. Marshall got it to Pittman. Maynard at close quarters. McDermott. Brown confronted, gets it away to Pays. Pays thought about it, then picked the better option. Sanderson, that's a probing kick. Hodges from behind. Great attempt in front there by Dorotich. He's done that a couple of times, showing rare courage going back into the pack. As a result, Spalding able to get it across to Verbeek.
To Bradley. Short. Kernahan. Option on for Kernahan was Herman, but he's taken too long. Sexton provides a lead. Goes longer towards Bassett. He's had little impact. Smith helped by Lee. Now Brown. Marshall in the space. But that one had too much on it. (39-35). Last couple of minutes of this opening half. Spalding and Ingerson. Big Earl. Now Ratton. Smothered by Brown, and a replay situation.
Well, Spalding being used in the ruck has got to be an ominous sign for Jamie Dunlop. I would have thought that he would have come on to replace Justin Madden, but as yet we haven't seen him.
I'd say a crowd of about 33,000 watching the game now. It really has filled in nicely. A very pleasant night. Another ball up. The Crows lead it by 4 points. 39 plays 35. Well played game this so far. If that changes, of course, it's my fault now, having said that. As the kick comes along the boundary line, Kernahan watches it across. Verbeek just chipping it in front of the lead from Kernahan, so it will be thrown in midway between right centre wing and right half forward. Will we see a late goal? Pittman and Kernahan battle body to body. Over the top, Bradley did nicely. James Towards the pocket, a chance for Carlton to lead at the break. The ball goes out of bounds, and of course in this competition that stops the clock, so it will be thrown in. 6-3, 5-5, and Carlton have done well. Certainly in the last 10 minutes they were getting out of their ground, but they've come back strongly. Sexton body to body with Pittman. Kernahan comes over the top. Prearranged move intended for Arceri. Got a bad bounce. Now O'Sullivan. Should have done that initially. This is Scholl across towards Bradley. Good pressure applied by the Crows though. Sanderson's hand pass not particularly good. McDermott got it to Maynard. Now Tregenza. The moment has passed. There's the siren for half time. Had Arceri got a good bounce, Carlton could have led. As it is, they trail by 4 points. 6-3 plays 5-5. Most entertaining first half, that one. And the Crows, as we said, threatening to get away. There's a man who's had a very good first half and responsible for Carlton being so close. Earl Spalding has come across from Melbourne, and I'm sure Carlton very happy about what they've seen so far. There's another man who's had a chance to perhaps have Carlton in front at this stage. 6-3, 5-5 half time. We'll be back in just a moment.
And just a reminder, of course, ladies and gentlemen, during the half-time break, the session outlets are open around the ground, so please make your way down there. It's interesting to note that Cameron Crowe and his favourite mate, Toyota Chicken, are back on the ground during half-time. And Crowe the last couple of weeks has been very subdued, to say the least, very affectionate towards the Chicken. And I noticed that he will look in the Crowe's eye tonight, so he may have changed colours once again. Maybe he's back to that evil way. Certainly looks like it, with a feather hanging out of the beak. But the Chicken keeping its ground. I don't think the children on the fence will trust so tonight either. No, Crowe, they don't trust him. Not tonight. Chicken deciding to have a rest. Looks like it's going to lay an egg or something. It couldn't.
Welcome back to Football Park in Adelaide. The Crows and the Blues at half-time. Adelaide 6-3-39. Carlton 5-5-35. Jamieson with 3 goals for Adelaide and Hannah a couple for Carlton. As we have a look at the family tree, and this match being in the bottom half, as we check the top half, and that is complete. Hawthorn and Richmond through to a quarter-final. Hawthorn being the champions last year. West Coast qualified by winning in Darwin. Geelong qualified by winning at Waverley Park last Wednesday. Now the bottom half, Only one match has been completed. Footscray big winners over Melbourne. We have Adelaide and Carlton, the winner to play Footscray. And those other two matches are coming up on the weekend. Essendon, Sydney, Fitzroy, North Melbourne. Well, let's talk about the weekend, and it's a big one. At Lavington on Saturday, Eastern Time, 2:30. The Bombers up against the Swans, Essendon and Sydney. Check your local guides. Saturday night from Waverley Park, quarter-final, take note. Hawthorn v Richmond, 8:30 Eastern Time. And then we go to North Hobart on Sunday. Fitzroy up against North Melbourne. That at 1:30 Eastern Time. The prize money, and there's plenty on offer, $344,000 in total. The winning team receives $104,500. What a splendid start to the season that would be. Now the betting from the Foster's Cup, the Melbourne Tabaret Sportsbook, has Hawthorn and West Coast equal favourites at 5-2, Geelong at 5-1. Those three teams are through to the quarterfinals. North Melbourne 7-1, Footscray shortened right up at 8-1, and then Essendon, Adelaide, Richmond, Carlton, Fitzroy and Sydney. So Hawthorn, West Coast, the two teams that played off last year in the grand final of the day competition, equal favourites at 5-2. Let's go down to the Carlton dressing rooms, and just outside of them, Max Stevens.
Bruce, thanks very much. We didn't have a problem at all getting into the Carlton rooms. David Parkin grabbed the players. They went straight into the small players' room within the big room here at Football Park. We did hear him say, though, the players released that pressure they had on in the first quarter. They didn't show the same aggression. Now, they've got the wind again this quarter, the third quarter, their last opportunity, so use it. Now, the interchange official has told me that James came onto the ground before Ratton came off the ground. He reckons that was about for 40 seconds. They had 19 players on the ground, and he'll be making a report. So just repeating that, the interchange official has told us that James came onto the ground before Ratton came off, and he'll be making an official report, and I understand that usually results in a fine.
Okay, interesting there, Max Stevens. I'm sure Scotty Palmer's got some interesting things coming up. We'll join him after the break.
Go and catch a try.
You there, Bruce?
Yeah, Scotty, how are you, mate?
Good, mate.
Shoot, mate.
Listen, I've got a South Melbourne Guernsey here.
Yeah?
It'll probably be the last time we see it in this fashion, because in Lavington they're likely to put the new Guernsey on,
Okay,
which is an all red back on it.
Okay, good.
So some of the old timers. Now, Bulldogs caused a shock today when they dropped Michael Ford from the senior list.
Okay.
97 games.
Yep.
Now, Gary Ablett injured his shoulder in a practice match at Footscray tonight.
Yep.
Very badly jarred, went off, it's on ice.
Yep.
The club aren't saying anything serious about it, but he didn't come back on the ground.
Okay,
Geelong won the match.
Yeah,
Great news for Peter Malesso. His final test have proved negative, and he's going back to play with East Perth.
Now, he was suffering
The cancer.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it?
And he's going to work as skills coach for Stan Magro until he gets back into the side.
Okay, mate, that's good.
Now, the poll for clubs on the final six, the majority of clubs do want the change. They announced it today.
Yep.
And it looks like it's certain to happen now that 3 places.
Okay. Yep.
Apparently road testing a new scarf for training that cuts down all the heat factor.
A scarf?
A scarf they turn around their neck.
Okay.
And also that kid Brent Sanderson, who's playing so well over there.
Yeah, he is.
Very superstitious kid. He likes to wear black underwear in the matches.
Does he, mate?
Yeah.
Apparently, yeah. You like to wear it elsewhere.
Yeah, his mum gave him a pair of black underpants one night to play, and he played well, and he's worn them ever since, and now he wears black undernicks.
Okay, that's a good one, Scotty. Now that you've got a lot there, so I'll keep moving.
Okay, mate.
Good on you, mate. That's good. And now there's an Ablett, so they've got to play West Coast, you know, next Wednesday.
That's
so
right.
He could be in doubt.
He could be in doubt.
Okay, mate. Adelaide. And then we've got the touring cars, mate.
Oh, it's 1:45.
Welcome back to Football Park as we welcome Scott Palmer at the 7 Sports Desk. And Scotty, what are you doing there with the South Melbourne Guernsey?
It could be the last time we see it in this fashion, Bruce, because they could fade it out on Saturday at Lavington and put an all-red back on it for the first time. So those old-timers at South Melbourne, it's going to change again, fellas.
Hang on to it, Scotty. It could be a collector's item.
Could be too.
Now, what's the story with Footscray and Michael Ford today?
Yes, they dropped him from the senior list, 97 games, 8 years league football, and he was told today his services weren't required. There'll be a few players after him in the March draft. He went with a couple of youngsters, Bruce. OK,
so Ford gone. Now, Gary Ablett, a scare for Geelong tonight?
Yes, he went off early in a practice match against Footscray at Skinner Reserve. He jarred his shoulder. He could be doubtful for the next Foster's Cup match. He put it in ice, but he didn't come on the ground again, so it's a little bit of a scare there at Geelong.
Well, they've got a big match against West Coast now. A good story coming out of Perth surrounding Peter Maloso.
Yes, the Peter Maloso, who was suffering cancer, has been given a negative response from the doctor. He's going back to East Perth to commence training, and meantime he's going to work in skills under Stan Magro, a nice bloke too. OK, that's a terrific story. Now, what's the situation with the final six? There's been a lot of controversy, a great deal of debate surrounding it. What's going to happen? Well, the league have taken the poll, and the poll says they want the change, Bruce. So from now on, I think you'll see a change with 3 playing 6 and 4 playing 5.
Now, you can't be serious about this story out of the West Coast Eagles, and is it a heat rash or something they're trying to get around?
Apparently they're getting over the heat by wearing a secret scarf that keeps you cool during training, Bruce.
OK, Scotty, thank you for that. Keep punching.
Good, mate.
Scotty Palmer from the 7 Sports Desk as we go down to the Adelaide Crows rooms and Max Stevens.
Thanks, Bruce. Well, I even tried to get into the Adelaide rooms tonight with this police hat on, but even that didn't work. Graham Corn spoke to me on the phone today, and he said under no circumstances are you welcome into the Adelaide rooms. He said, what I want to say to the players, I want to say to the players and the players only, and I don't want you broadcasting it around Australia. So that's his choice. He's put the doorman on here as well as the players start to come back for this third quarter.
OK, Max, thanks very much for that. As we see what's coming up on 7 Sport, Australian Touring Car Championships Shell, Round 1 Emeroo, Sunday, February 23rd. Check your local guides, followed by NASCAR Ozcar action. It's the Nationals quarter, March the 1st. Again, check your local guides for telecast details. So a thriller here at Football Park. Only a kick between the two teams, Adelaide and Carlton. We return after the break with the second half.
Facing Sue Bevans from Allgate to the match day office, please. Repeating Sue Bevans from Allgate. Could you report to the match day office, please?
Welcome back. Carlton just coming out onto the ground as the Adelaide Crows have been out there for 3 or 4 minutes waiting for them. Remember that incident late in the second quarter, the Tony McGuinness shot for goal where David Kernahan touched the point post. We said at the time we felt that McGuinness, the ball had gone through. We're going to have a look at it in replay here, Gerard, remembering Adelaide leading by 4 points.
Yes, well, McGuinness rows it well and pulls it round on his customary left foot. You see there the goal umpire gets obscured, 1 by the post and 2 by David Kernahan's performance, and I think you're right, Bruce, that was a goal.
Match stats pretty even here.
Yeah, the centre breaks is the big difference there. 8 to Carlton, 3 to Adelaide, but in all other departments quite even.
Okay. We'll be back with the second half after this. Well, Carlton out there now with Adelaide, 6-3 to 5-5. Adelaide leads as we take a look at Tony McGuinness's first half.
Yes, well, he ran a merry dance in the first quarter, although I thought Ian Herman would have copped a spray from Parkin at quarter time, and he did well in that second quarter, limiting it only to 2 possessions.
Craig Bradley, business as usual, 17 possessions to the half, 9 coming in that second term.
David Marshall, quite a good half, 14 possessions on the wing, as yet hasn't kicked a goal, and that's one of the areas where the Crows do lack, goal-kicking wingman.
Brett Scholl has been pretty impressive so far, 13 possessions, warming to the task. As you can see, 5 possessions in the first term without a kick.
And here's the man on the razor's edge. Got the big game at centre-half back at the present time. A big challenge. He's been on Kernahan and Spalding, but has responded well with 12 possessions and 7 marks.
John Dorotich has done very well at centre-half back, showed a lot of courage on a couple of occasions. The umpires are coming out, as we can see. Can't go without them, Michael Abbott and John Harvey. Actually, the crowd giving them the Bronx cheer as they did when we awaited the start of the second term. They were slow to bounce the ball, but it seems to me if the players are in position too early, there is a prescribed time as to how long the break should be, and it's got to be abided by. Let's go down to Max Stevens now.
Dennis, we understand that number 21 for the Adelaide Crows, David Brown, has been reported, but unfortunately at this point of time the umpires won't confirm it. But just repeating, we understand David Brown, 21, has been reported.
Yes, I've made the point before, and I think you alluded to it earlier, Bruce, about the goal-kicking talents of the wingmen for the Crows. If you have a look last year, Tregenza got 3 goals, 6 from 17 games. Marshall, 9 goals, 1 from 15. And Filkey, 5 goals, 10 from 22. Now, if you compare that to the All-Australian wing division at the Eagles, Matera 32 goals from 26 games and Main Waring 16 from 21. I think it's an area where they need to improve, and by looking at young Sanderson, with his driving kick off the wing, he could well be a player to fill that breach.
Well, interesting there. The break at halftime should be 15 minutes, and the umpires have taken 20, and that's the reason for the delay here. And Adelaide's been out for 8 or 9 minutes at least. Carlton about 5 minutes by now. And we should be ready to go.
Crowd right that time then. They were wrong at the start of the second term.
So we're finally away for the second half. 39 to 35, Adelaide leads, but Carlton came back strongly at the end of the second term. Madden and Pittman. Micken still not there for Adelaide. Slight injury worry. Smith ducked his head, but was under great pressure. James to O'Sullivan to Brown. who gets rid of a tackle to O'Sullivan again, tries to break the tackle and can't do it in the end. David Brown gets back for Adelaide. It's tight there. Left foot smothered by James. Good give though to Reynolds. Again a good tackle by Adelaide. Reynolds throws it away in the end. Spalding's left foot wobbling was a touch as it a goal. Goal. Carlton in front 6-5 to 6-3, and Spalding, who kicked 63 goals in his 109 games at Melbourne, has kicked his first for the Blues.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mongrel kick here from Reynolds. Spalding's onto it quickly though, and is favoured from the bounce. Is an opening bowler for Western Australia, and I'm sure he'd be pleased if he could lift them off a good length like that on a more regular basis.
Must have been his slower ball. 6-5, 6-3. Madden and Pittman, up they go. One by the latter. Liptak got it to Klug, to the run of Tregenza. Back to Liptak. Not a good kick though. It wobbles down towards the kickoff line. Out comes David Kernahan. Oh, well done. Tidy sidestep, but the kick not particularly good. It favours Pittman, who's in trouble. He wants a long time, uses all of that time. Klug, he's got the run of it towards the boundary line. Hassled by Bradley. Still Bradley goes. His 14th possession. High floating kick back towards the wing. Showing courage there was Smith. And he's going to get the free. Now advantage is paid. McDermott comes away. Goes down towards half forward and Ingerson. It's knocked away there by Dorotich, who gets it across the boundary line. So Carlton trailing at half-time, getting the first goal of this third term. Interesting. After trailing at half-time, Carlton won only once last season. Can they do it tonight? Madden gets it down. Knocked away by Bradley. Taken by Brown. We believe he's on report. Short pass to Liptak. He'll kick from just inside the 50. Matthew Liptak, who started on the bench. An exciting young player. Has it got the carry? I doubt it. Off hands. Jamison, who's kicked 3, in trouble. Ratton takes it and kicks towards the boundary line.
And Liptak in the shoot.
Yeah, the Crows have got a number of these players. Liptak is an example of someone who, outside of 40 metres, is going to struggle to kick goals. We've seen Tregenza struggling with his disposal, and they must improve in that department this year.
McGuinness, just 2 touches in the second term, unusual for him. Brown got it from Klug, kicks it to Hodges, couldn't take the mark, still Hodges. Bradley to put the pressure on to worry him out, does. Ratton, good hands. Handball to Madden, who swing onto the left foot. Well, didn't quite get all the way around. The veteran, who's played 226 games, the 30-year-old. Carlton bench, see Fotier there, and Bassett, who hasn't returned after half-time. So Klug and Madden. Madden comfortably. Liptak's had a couple of touches. Madden again to Bradley, who's had 14 touches to date. Now Verbeek sits, waits, gets a chance to bang it towards Kernahan. Maynard with him. Pittman gets back to get rid of Kernahan and give Maynard a run at it. Handball to Smith. Inside to Pays. To half forward. The target was McGuinness. Takes it in front of Herman.
Yeah, the crowd looking for the 50-metre penalty, but it was only the momentum that brought McGuinness to the ground there.
McGuinness inside the 50. Hodges up. Couldn't control it. That's been his night, really. Madden on his knee. Straight to Klug. Over the shoulder. Brown's got it. Bradley stayed off him. Brown's kick not a particularly good one. The hand pass from Kernahan. Not that flash either. Tregenza. Sanderson from just inside the 50. And the mark is taken about 2 metres out by Liptak. He got in behind the defence, Liptak. And now he's going to get, I think, a penalty, which will take him directly in front. He's got a 50, where in effect they can only get about 4. And Liptak, surprisingly, kicks from the angle and sneaks it through. Adelaide back in front, 7-3, 6-5.
Yeah, well, we see here on replay, Tregenza using an effective disposal there by hand. Liptak almost makes a meal of this. But the umpire hasn't blown time off, and he's allowed that goal to be given. So a bit of a mistake there.
Ratton and Liptak at it. 7-3-6-5. Liptak having an immediate effect. I think he might have taken Rowe's place at half-time. Ingerson in the front spot. First gamer who's done all right. Hodges provides a lead. Kernahan, David's been very good. Liptak again. McGuinness round the body. High one. Gets some distance. Jamieson and Dean. Jamieson kicked 3 goals in the first half. Dorotich cleverly in the end to Bradley, who's been the big possession winner, and that's a booming torpedo punt. It's going to be a hard one for Kernahan, but oh, he takes it well.
Very difficult to beat in a one-on-one contest. Given that Maynard is giving him a few inches, it's almost the impossible task.
Surprisingly, I think this is his first shot for goal.
Yes, here we see the mark. Kernahan eyes only for the ball. Get some feedback from his fingertips, knows where his man is. I'm sure Bob Davis will enjoy that. Lines up for a goal.
From 45 metres, doesn't kick it very well at all. And the captain misses. Well, they've cheered home a lot of Kernahan goals over the years in this park, but they were pretty happy to see him miss on that occasion.
I remember about 9 of them in a state game, about 1987, Bruce.
Yes. Bickley from the back pocket. Here's Kernahan in the action again, this time as a defensive role. Bradley. Still Bradley. Well, he didn't see where Spalding was. It would have been handy for Carlton if he'd known. And Bickley, who's been one of the very best for Adelaide tonight.
Yes, had a very good night. Mark Bickley towards centre wing. And Klug was pushed in the back and will get the free kick. John Klug. Just the defensive side of the wing. Probing kick towards half forward. Over Ingerson's head. Down goes Reynolds. Was tripped. He'll get the free at left half back. Advantage not paid on this occasion. Dorotich wanting to run, but the ball will come back.
By Dorotich doing that, he's actually doing his side a disservice. He would have known that he would have had to come back. Took the gamble, and now everybody for the Crows has a chance to man up.
Reynolds towards Spalding. He couldn't hang on. Smith, Klug kept his cool brilliantly, and so did Marshall. Marshall towards half forward. Hodges this time, no, didn't put his hands up. Liptak keeps it in front. Here's trouble for Carlton. Across to Brown. Brown 25 metres out, kicks a goal. Well, once it broke Adelaide's way, Carlton always had problems there. It's 8-3 to 6-6.
Klug once again with the hands. Fantastic balk there from Marshall. Kicks over the short players to the long option. Hodges crashes the pack. Good crumbing there from Liptak. Gives it off to Brown. Easy goal.
Adelaide with a little break at 9 points. Madden wins it against Pittman. Bradley. Tregenza against the flow. The slow handball. Bradley able to chip in front of Marshall. Tregenza gets back. Has a lot of pace. Little left footer. Was looking for McGuinness and Bickley, the combination. Now Bickley goes to ground cleverly. Now pays. Hodges. Still Hodges. The handball to McDermott, the captain with a high one. Adelaide's got a chance here. Jamieson with a fly and takes a very good mark. Well, Dorotich had little chance in a way because of the way he was running, but Jamieson's mark was spectacular. And the best the Blues can hope for is that Jamieson just goes back and they kicks from the spot.
You couldn't really fault Dorotich there, could you?
Nope.
No, he was caught well and truly out of position. Not his fault, but I like the way Hodges and Jamieson are combining. Hodges is doing a lot more of the hard work, and he's creating a hole for this player on screen to fall into. Hasn't got the score on the board, but we'll see at the end of the night. Jamieson with his 4th goal here may be the winning score.
Adelaide 9, Jamieson 4. He was the leading goal kicker last season with 49. And he's off to a flying start in this Foster's Cup competition.
Here we see Hodges. Second effort from Hodges, which is a far improved performance from last year. Sets the ball up there, long high bomb into the forward line with the sit. Was always going to take that mark, Jamieson. Has a good pair of hands.
Pittman wins it down. Liptak had it knocked away. James over the ball for the Blues. And we've got a whistle. 9-3 plays 6-6. So Carlton getting the opening goal of the term, but since then it's been Adelaide. Bassett waiting to come back on. Pays couldn't control it. Liptak, who's been very industrious since coming onto the ground. This is James. Gets it away to Brown. Siri forward of the wing. Goes in short to Spalding. Back it comes to Siri on the burst. He runs inside 50 now. Doesn't settle though. As a result, it's a shocking kick. Missed down there by Tasker. Gets it away to Bickley. He hasn't made a mistake. Liptak back to Bickley, who's got pace. Drives it around the outer side. McGuinness should take the mark. Now he lets it bounce. Controls it pretty well. Can't keep it in. And Fraser Brown runs it across the boundary line. Fraser Brown, number 20. Number worn with distinction by Wes Lofts and Jeff Southby. And the way Rod Jamison's going, they should get the jumper back to fullback. Scramble on the outer side. Ball up. Carlton with a couple of players stretching, waiting to come back on. Sexton and Bassett. So bounce on the wing. Madden off the ground by Brown. Liptak cleverly sends McGuinness away. He's at left half forward. Spears this ball for Hodges, and this time he hangs on. And the crowd enjoyed the mark, and the irony not lost on them. Just about every opportunity tonight has bounced off his chest or hands, but that one stuck. He took a spectacular mark in this region in the first term. The kick wasn't the equal of the mark. What can he do from here? Kicks right on the 50. That's a better looking attempt. Just sliding across the face, and it's knocked away by the defence out of bounds in the right full forward pocket.
It is one of the problems of a full forward that leads early, takes the ball out on the 45-metre mark. He's in the low percentage area when kicking for goal, and that's where Hodges is getting the majority of his shots from.
Ratton off, Bassett on for the Blues, and immediately in the action, Siri. Spalding free kick against Sanderson. Short or danger. Clue couldn't quite do it. Verbeek felt Herman there, got it to him from centre half back. Kernahan at centre half forward, outnumbered through Pittman's fingers. Scott Lee squares it, but Scholes in the box seat, and he takes the mark.
He put his hand through a plate glass window last year, Bruce, and played one game for North Melbourne, but he looks to be a player for the Blues this year.
We looked at his stats at half-time. He did pretty well. Kernahan at the back with a fly. Not paid. Hannah looks for a free kick. Didn't get it. Adelaide away. Maynard. Clue. Sexton has just come on. Smith. He's had a pretty good game. Now Bassett to O'Sullivan, to Herman, I should say. Herman pops it up towards Kernahan, who's one out with Pittman. Tasker, Pittman, now Bickley, and Adelaide conceding a behind. Carlton up to 6-7 to 9-3.
I think the time has come for Carlton to stick one of their big men in the square. They look to be driving the ball forward, but they're under a fair bit of pressure and can't pinpoint the passes.
Ted Whitten over for the game. Here's McGuinness, as we saw Dunlop earlier, getting ready to come on for the Blues. Now Marshall tries to break the Siri tackle, and he does. Squares it to centre half forward. Brown at the back. Rennett's with him. Play on. Good tackle by Bassett. And Carlton hold it up.
He's another one that's played well in this quarter, David Brown, using his left foot to advantage. But it's definitely Liptak that sparked the revival.
Crows lead by 14 points. Madden. Liptak in it again. Brown towards Sexton, just on the ground. He keeps it in initially, and it spills across the boundary line. 9-3 plays 6-7. So the challenge now with the Blues to get back into this again. So far tonight, they've met the challenge twice. Adelaide skipped away, and the Blues came back strongly. Ingerson wins it down. James to Sexton. Forward of half back towards half forward with a kick. All the Crows. Pittman misses the mark. And then the ball. He raked it in pretty well, though, as Spalding tried the soccer. Maynard comes away. That's ambitious. Pays in trouble. Dragged down. Well done, O'Sullivan. He stands up in the tackle. Still he goes. Could have been pushed in the back. Taken by James. They stay off him. McGuinness in trouble. Tries to spin out. Got the hand pass away. Now it's Pittman. Concedes some ground. Down goes Sanderson. Got it back to Pittman. McDermott on the outer side wing towards half forward. Bassett stays off the contest, and wisely so. Dorotic took a very good mark.
Jamie Dunlop's come on to replace Justin Madden.
Dorotic through the middle, intended for Kernahan. It was knocked away by Scholl, who's now in trouble. And away comes Lee. Right centre wing towards half forward. Kluger slipped his man. He's taken the mark. A runner inside. That's Tregenza. Over the top it goes. Tregenza, 45 metres out from goal. Penetrating kick. Not quite. And again, Dorotic in the road. Short to Bassett. And Carlton to rebound the ball.
To Scholl. Dunlop, who, as Gerard told us, has just come on for Madden. O'Sullivan and Pays. Maynard, Pays, Lee, tackled by Glasgow, holding on. Lee's free kick. From half-back. Bassett.
Good strong mark.
Here's Ingerson, first gamer. Central District's best and fairest last season. Hodges, front spot, well read, lip tap, and then had the strength to get a kick away. McDermott. Brown, that's Fraser Brown to David Kernahan, who chips it towards Bassett. Tregenza, there's a hole to be filled. Spalding. Bassett, smothered by Tregenza. Better kick by him to Ingerson. Misses it. Good give though to McGuinness. 1-2. Left foot. Squares it cleverly to Marshall. Very good vision.
That was brilliant play from McGuinness. I'm sure at the time he went to kick the ball, he had the goals in his sights. He realised that he was going to be smothered by Carlton, as we see here on replay, and then just squares it, as you called, Bruce, to the waiting hands of David Marshall. Brilliant play.
He'll fancy himself here, Marshall. He's a long kicking centre wingman. Right there to Jamison, take hold. Umpires confirm goal. Well, you picked it, Gerard. High drama. Marshall with a long goal, and Adelaide squeeze it away to 20 points.
Yes, well, that's the fourth goal that the Crows have kicked in a row, as we see Jamie Dunlop in a fair bit of trouble here, being carried off. The Crows are really starting to create a big gap.
Well, Jamie Dunlop, who's just come onto the ground, unfortunately coming off. The stretcher did come out, but it hasn't been used, so Justin Madden only getting 4 or 5 minutes rest. But the bad story for Carlton is that Dunlop, with what seems to be a knee injury, off the ground. Max Stevens to bring us up to date momentarily. 63-43, Adelaide leads.
This is Smith across half back. Adelaide have kicked the last 4 goals in this contest. Ingerson was up. Reynolds. James on his knees. Brown, untidy hand pass under no pressure. Dorotic then under some pressure. Down goes Spalding. McDermott has it knocked away by O'Sullivan. Down goes McDermott. Meantime, it comes across towards Herman. Herman probing, kick down towards the kick-off line. Tasker, the big leap from behind, got a fist on that one. This is Arceri, just inside the 50. Strong pressure there from Bickley. Got hands to that ball off the boot. And as a result, it only went about 10 metres, and Maynard able to push it across the boundary line. So they're playing with commitment.
Yes, and the next 5 minutes will probably decide the outcome of this game. Carlton must get in and get a couple of goals, but I think the Crows sense victory and are really applying the pressure.
Kernahan trying to lift his team. His 6th season as skipper. Bickley got it from Smith. Back towards the half-back line. Spalding in the road, though. He'll send it back in for the Blues. They'll contest about 35 metres out. No contest, really. Smith drifting across, relishing his role as a defender tonight.
To Tasker. Had some time. Justin Madden, by the way, has gone back off the ground. Verbeek coming on. So he's only on for about a minute and a half, the captain. Or the ruckman. Left foot by Marshall. Ingerson just bouncing in. And Adelaide with a handy break here. The Blues came back at the end of the second term. And they mount the same defence here. Spalding and Ingerson, both wearing new jumpers tonight. James. The give was to Herman, to Renitz, who sweeps one out to Verbeek. Back inside to Renitz. Time to steady, and then bang it towards Hannah, who leads to the pocket. Keeps it in play cleverly, then centres it. Bickley got a good bounce. Would have loved that as a defender. Then kicks it cleverly with pinpoint accuracy. He's been excellent, Bickley, tonight. Been very sure in everything he's done. Tregenza pays, will get a free kick. And things are happening for Adelaide at the moment. Haven't played with quite the same fervour as last year, but I reckon that's a good sign for Graham Corns in February. Pretty hard to maintain that for 7 months.
It was a shocking kick there, but fortunately found the mark.
For Brown. So the lookalikes, pays to Brown, to half forward. Spalding in the front spot. He's made a promising debut, and why shouldn't he, after everything you've done at Melbourne over the years? Bradley, who often squares like that. That time Brown got in the road to Tregenza.
Tregenza down towards half forward. It pitches about 5 metres in from the boundary and stays in initially. Eventually, though, Marshall crashes into the ball and it goes out of bounds. Let's go down to Max Stevens.
Dennis, Jamie Dunlop, who came off just a few moments ago, he has a knee injury, the left knee. At this point of time, we understand it's only jarred, and it doesn't look as though they'll be risking bringing him back on.
Well, that's good news in terms of the injury. Sexton towards the boundary line gets it out of play. So a throw in inside the attacking 50 for the Crows, who lead 10-3 to 6-7. Dunlop, who's had his share of injuries over the seasons. A cruel start to the season. Spalding did well, got it back to James. This is Sexton from half back, wide towards the wing at full stretch. Verbeek overcommitted. Now Smith does well, heard the voice, paddles it away to Bickley. He's been everywhere. Bickley goes down towards the pocket. Hodges battling down there, pushed out of it by Kernahan. Rennet, strong tackle by the young man Sanderson. He thought he was going to go by him. Didn't pan out that way. Sanderson, just a lad, but that was a very strong tackle. And the ball will be thrown in. Ingerson, Klug over the top though, got it down. McGuinness slides it across the face. Hodges juggles it across the boundary line, out of bounds on the full. Kernahan will get the free, and he's been the master in that duel.
So I thought the McGuinness could have centred that ball. No opportunity to mark there for any of his players.
McDermott from the side of Dorotich. Back to full forward. Klug, Hodges sitting there. Hodges 2 attempts. Kernahan cleverly. Bradley tries a long one and gets onto it. Verbeek from the centre square. Hannah the target. Nobody home for Carlton now. Hannah. Fotier having a run. Marshall's got hold of him. Fotier, former West Torrens. Theberton now combined with Woodville, that club. Pittman. Kernahan over the top. McGuinness with Brown, and again a throw in. So it's been a good quarter for Adelaide. They've kicked 4 goals without a miss. Carlton's kicked 1-2.
Actually, if you look back over the records of last season, the third term was Adelaide's best in terms of point production. They averaged 26. Not great. Around the league, other sides did better than that, but that was their best. 26 on average in the third term. Ball is out of bounds, closer to goal for Carlton. They desperately need a goal here. 10-3, 6-7. So the margin is out to 20 points now. Quite a still night. Terrific conditions for footy. Pittman's in front, battling with Kernahan. Down goes Maynard. Over the ball, McDermott. He's had a very good night too. Knocked on by Brown. Lip tack. Down goes Lee. In front, Arceri now close to the line, and it spills out of bounds.
Well, it's a good indicator of the relevant depths of both sides here. Both have notable absentees. The Crows, Jarman, Smart, Wiedemann, Wren and Filkey. And Carlton, Gleeson, Silvani, Reece Jones, Phillips and that man Williams.
Pittman and Kernahan wrestle. Kernahan eventually finished up with it. Arceri held a long time. Maynard, McDermott goes down. Back comes Arceri. Bassett slides in there. James is with him, and we'll have a ball up. So time running out in this third term, and Adelaide have slipped away. 10-3, 6-7. Kernahan knocked away by McDermott, his close friend. Brown. This is Marshall around the outer side. Sexton's in front. Dorotich again, like his game tonight.
Squares it to Bradley. Goes long again, a torpedo. That's the best one he's tried tonight to fall forward. O'Sullivan. Still O'Sullivan. Oh, no. Well, misunderstanding. O'Sullivan gets another chance. See if he can kick this one. Smothered. Well, you'd be disappointed if you're O'Sullivan, wouldn't you? Tasker, handball to Hannah, I guess, but he's going to go through for a goal. Could have just lifted a leg up.
Yeah, the other thing, Bruce, is that O'Sullivan 4 times tonight has tried to go round the second player. Still had the opportunity to kick that on his left foot, his natural foot. Instead tried to beat the extra man and ended up in trouble.
Here's Arsiri to the square. Hannah and Tasker. Still Hannah. Tasker over the top. And it's the umpires.
I'm sure Mil Hannah would have been disappointed. It could well have ricocheted off his foot through the goals. But as it was, he was made to look a bit of a dill.
Michael Taylor and Graham Corns. Pittman and Kernahan and Smith at the back. Fotier. McGuinness. 63-43.
That'd be a serious typographical, wouldn't it? For Mill. One down by Pittman behind the pack. Maynard kicks towards centre wing. 3 men contest. Spalding finds it on the ground. He's on the wing. Pulls it back across his body. McDermott cleverly. He's played well, McDermott, to Marshall. 2 veterans from Glenelg combining there. Kick towards half forward. Sexton knocks it away and shows courage to dive on top of it. Well done. Gets it to Spalding, who was taken high. No free kick. Liptak knocks it away. David Kernahan, who's defended stoutly, gets it away to Brown. Brown on the wing, goes out wide. Arsiri on the siren. And the crowd enjoyed that turn. Carlton got the first goal, which was their 6th, immediately after half-time. But Adelaide have got the last 4. Adelaide 10-3, Carlton 6-7, 3/4 time at Football Park.
And the winner of the 5AA Fosters Cup competition is Karen Evans from Karaka. Karen received a trip to 2 people to the Fosters Cup Grand Final at Waverley on Saturday, March the 14th, which includes airfares, accommodations and entry to the game. Prizes courtesy of Adelaide's 5AA and Carlton United Breweries. And the 5AA Fosters Cup competition prize winner had to wear the 5AA Fosters t-shirt to be eligible to win. So congratulations to Karen Evans from Karaka.
Well, Dennis Committee told us that Adelaide averages 26 points in the third term. They had 24 in that one. 10-3 to 6-7, 63 to 43. As we look forward to the Super Sports Saturday, the Olympiathon, 7 a.m. to midnight, to raise money to send our team to Barcelona, Australia-wide. So let's support the Olympic Games and the Barcelona Olympians. And then the Moomba Masters Water Ski Weekend. Don't forget that. Check your local guides here for telecast details, March 8 to 9. Well, Max, what happened with those umpires at halftime? They kept us all waiting.
Yes, they did, Bruce. Just had a chat to the two umpires and they said they do apologise to Channel 7 and the football public here at Footy Park. They thought it was a 20-minute break, which it is in the Premiership season, but in the Foster's Cup, it's only 15 minutes. They said usually they get buzzed to be told to come back out on the ground, and one of the umpires did say to me that that is the first time ever he has seen the teams out on the ground and not the umpires. Now, an update on Jamie Dunlop, number 24 from Carlton. Unfortunately, Stephen Goff, the official, the football manager, told me that the situation is that it could be a cruciate ligament. That's bad news for Carlton and Jamie Dunlop.
OK, Max, as we look at three-quarter time stats, this from the third quarter only.
Yes, it was good to see Adelaide turn around the centre breaks there, leading by 2. And they're dominant in the possessions. A good margin in the kicks. The marks are well above. And the hit-outs just slightly in Carlton's favour, but they've squared that up quite considerably.
63-43, 10-3, 6-7. Jamison, the big goal scorer here with 4. And you just wonder where the Blues are going to get it from. Who's going to kick the 2 or 3 goals to spark them in this term? Will it be Kernahan? He's done it before. Winner to play Footscray in a quarter-final. That's going to be a tough task after their performance last Saturday night. Herman out of the centre. Verbeek pays. High one. Spalding gets underneath it with Pittman. He was done most of the ruck work after Mickham went off with a slight shoulder injury, we're told. Arsiri received it from Spalding. Handball was loose. Tregenza, well, not much value there. Arsiri got a high tackle. Advantage played on there. Pays. Brown fell over. Pays kept his feet. This is David Brown. Fraser Brown, the man to fall over. Klug got an awkward one. Kept his feet. Tregenza mopped up. Wild ball from Tregenza. Hodges, I should say, with a run at it. Now Klug caught. Got a little one away. Didn't go very far. Sanderson over the top. Crow player on the bottom. Carlton come in to put the pressure on.
I'm not going to be too critical of Tregenza because it is early in the season, but one gets the feeling that he thinks his job is done by simply getting his boot to the ball. But accumulating statistics is only half the job. He wins the ball well, but if he's going to take the next step in football, he's got to start delivering it.
Spalding has tried very hard tonight. Bassett over the ball. Dean rolling with it. And another whistle. Adelaide 10-3, Carlton 6-7. The Crows led by 4 points at half-time. Spalding again. Cleverly. Siri taken high, surely must get the free kick. Last season, Adelaide won 9 of 12 when leading at three-quarter time. So the odds say they'll win from here. Siri finds Sexton. He's on the wing. Sexton towards half forward. Kernahan's the target. 2 against him. Off hands. Verbeek almost had it. Was raked in well by Maynard. Kernahan comes back again. He's asked to do too much. And we'll have a bounce.
Well, kicking a winning score was Carlton's biggest problem last year. In fact, there was only 2 sides in the league that they kicked more points in, and they were Fitzroy and Footscray. So it's hard to see them being able to muster enough players up forward to kick the winning score. They continue to persist with Milhanner at full forward. I can't see that being the answer for them this year, and I'd like to see Kernahan played there.
Teddy Whitten. Here's the bounce. Of course, Simon Minton-Connell has gone to Sydney. That'd be handy on the forward line. Sexton couldn't control it. Marshall put his body in cleverly. Could have almost got the kick. McGuinness keeps it in front. Goes off the ground. Bad luck. Puts it out of bounds on the full. Down towards left half forward for the Crows. They lead by 20 points.
Big Earl Spalding. Just working out where we should be kicking it from. Kernahan the target. 3 Crows against him. It's been a pattern throughout the evening. Smith one of them again. Sanderson there with Stephen Kernahan. He must be just a bit frustrated. Well, the first goal here all important. If Carlton can get it, they're in with a chance. If Adelaide can get it, they'll be into a quarter-final. A lot of difference in the money at stake here. Lee, Maynard gave it away in a hurry. Lee gets back onto it, plays the percentage gain towards the boundary, but then kept it in. Fodia got the high one and get a free kick.
So they make the quarter-final. They've got a guaranteed 19,000 as compared to 5,000 for the loser tonight. A worthwhile winning.
Kernahan, but only as far as Maynard, his opponent, to Lee. Just not much there at half forward once Kernahan's out of the fray. Spalding looking to play on. Has Verbeek wide. He's going to go towards him, and Bradley there as well. Bradley timed it reasonably well, but unable to take it. Now Tregenza, Scholl with him. Just worries him out of it, and again, here's Hannah a long way up, smothered off the boot. Fodia, quick hands. Brown smothered again by his namesake. Kicks it towards Liptak, who made a big difference in the third quarter. On the lead, Jamison. McGuinness misses.
Well, that's an unbelievable mistake from McGuinness. He drew the player.
Handball to Hodges, you reckon?
It was definitely the option. I think he knew as soon as he put the ball to boot that he'd made a blue. At the other end, we saw 2 Carlton players get the ball smothered. Both players looked up for an option. Milhana was on the half-forward line. There was nobody in the goal square.
This is Reynolds. Oh dear. Straight out of bounds. Gained about 5 metres before it crossed the boundary line. Sanderson to take the kick then. It's been impressive tonight. Goes for distance. They'll contest about 40 metres out from goal. Dorotic was up in front. Couldn't hang on. Jamison behind his kick for. Couldn't control it that time. It spills across to Sexton. Kicks out very wide. Tregenza and Scholl. This will be interesting. Tregenza's got the ball. Scholl's got him. Close to the boundary line. Tregenza keeps it in. And again, cleverly done, but only as far as Sexton. Stood his ground. Good tackle applied by Tregenza, who ran onto him. Fodia did well, knocked it across to support from Glasgow. It goes around the outer side, hugging the boundary line, kicks it down towards half forward, but ill-directed. Smith has been very good in defence. Got it to Pittman. Bickley, well, he's had a great night. And that sort of form continues. Away he goes. Lee on the overlap. Kicks down towards half forward. McGuinness in front. Couldn't hang on. And the ball off his hands and out of bounds.
Well, one wonders if there's a problem with Justin Madden. When they had the dual-pronged attack at full forward, half forward with Spalding and Kernahan, Carlton were looking far better than they do at the present time with Spalding on the ball. He's doing quite well, but when they go forward, there's no big players up there to take them out.
Saliba getting a touch. Ex-North Adelaide youngster. Now Asiri to O'Sullivan. Through centre, but only as far as Lee. Smothered. Standings just dropped away a bit for the moment. Now Saliba. Free kick. Coming on at three-quarter time. One of 3 players making his debut tonight. Hodges, Marshall, Glasgow with him. A couple of veterans there. Still not a goal in this final term. Marshall with 22 touches.
Ingerson flicks it behind. Taken by Brown of Carlton, though. High towards the wing. Pays on his chest. He's been handy tonight as well. Pays looking to centre the ball. Ingerson props in front. Dorotic gets him out of position. Jamison over the top. It falls to Reynolds. Clever handball. Siri, he's tried hard. Comes away from half-back. Will kick it out wide. Fodia leads in the race out there. Should have too much pace for Lee. Lee did well to corral him. Tregenza knocks it back towards Lee. Off the ground by Smith. And the players feeling the effects of what's been a pretty hectic game, a physical game, and Smith content to soccer it out of bounds. 10-4, 6-7. So no goals in this final quarter as yet. Kernahan body to body with Pittman. It falls behind them. Knocked forward by Fodia eventually. Pays did well. And Sullivan goes after it. Cannons into Smith. Ball ricochets across to Bickley. He's done extremely well. To Smith. Away it comes to Saliba. Saliba on the wing. Goes down towards half forward. Dorotic in the road again. Action replay from Dorotic in 50 metres now.
Well, the runner's going out to see Brown from Carlton. His man Bickley took the ball off half forward. Brown was running back towards the goals. Bickley attacked the ball and ended up turning it over. Must attack the ball at all times.
Dorotic aided by his 50. Kicks inside the attacking 50. Strong mark to Kernahan. Gee, that was a good mark. Body to body with Pittman and somehow got in front and grabbed it at the second attempt. Hannah from behind. Missed by Smith. Sanderson did well. Got it to Liptak. Away comes Lee.
Centre wing. Saliba. Another touch for him. To Pays. To Klug. Sexton with him. Klug's got it. McGuinness on his wrong side, but he has the pace and he can be strong on the right foot. It's a good kick. Give him credit for that. Hodges on the lead. Saw the space. And wouldn't the 30-odd thousand love Scotty to kick one here?
Yes, a chip around the corner from McGuinness, and we see Hodges leading up the middle of the ground into the high percentage area. Neil Hanna could take a leaf out of his book. This player must go back and kick this goal for his own confidence.
45 metres out, drop punt straight through the middle. Hodges is first and shut the gate. 11-4, 6-7. It's a winning lead.
Yes, I think that's a fair summary, Bruce. Shut the gate. Once again, Klug always seems to have time to unload the ball. McGuinness always seems to be there to be unloaded too. And pinpoints a difficult kick around the corner.
So the margin 27 points now. It seems the Crows will get through to play Footscray. Sanderson knocks it out. Saliba quick hands away to Liptak. He drives it long once more. Jamison and Hodges down there. That twin-pronged attack. Hodges running away from his own goal to Marshall, who puts it in reverse. Bradley keeps it in front. Was pushed in the back. Surely must get the free. Advantages paid. Verbeek gets it away to Sexton. The defensive side of right centre wing goes down towards half forward. Dorotic on the forward line now. Held without it. He'll get the free kick. Kernahan has gone deeper into attack. So Dorotic midway between centre wing and half forward spears the pass intended for Hannah. He gathers it on the bounce. Glasgow should go over the top and does. He held on to it too long. Fodia did well in a tight situation. Back to Hannah. He's bumped to the ground but spears it back with a hand pass to Fodia. Now it's Arceri 35 metres out from goal. Pulls it back not sufficiently and back goes Maynard playing with confidence. Gets it to Tasker. Great effort by Kernahan and again. Well, he tried valiantly there, but weight of numbers told against him. Sanderson to midfield. Marshall. Through the middle comes Brown. Goes in short. Jamison couldn't hang on. Back goes Herman. Slaps it out towards the boundary line. McGuinness with speed. Almost got by Kernahan. Kernahan hits for the boundary and will have a throw.
That was almost like a training drill there, except for the fact that Jamison let the ball go to ground. It was an excellent passage of play from the Crows.
Brown and Saliba like bookends, aren't they?
Tough to pick, Dennis. Now Marshall. Jamison. Saliba. Clever. Just talking it, but we said that Sanderson's made a mark and Ingerson's done pretty well, and so is this young man in 10 minutes of football. So Graham Corns, Gerard Healy must be pretty happy with the three men that have made a debut tonight.
No question of that, Bruce. I thought Saliba might have started the game to replace Jarman. He seems to have the same balking capacity as the other Jarman playing for Hawthorn.
Verbeek, centre wing. Good mark taken by O'Sullivan. Now Darren Smith. Copped the high one. In fact, he's going to get a free kick for a legging. I thought he might have copped one on the head there, but accidentally. See, Saliba reminds me a little bit of the Norwood player, centreman that...
Gary McIntosh?
Yes, who refused to go to the VFL in the old days and won't play with the Crows, but just a little bit on him. Now here's this incident with Smith.
Yeah,
He legs her in the head. Yeah.
It's a decent whack there from Luke O'Sullivan. And that's not a very good way to finish what's been a great game from Darren Smith. I'm sure he's gone the best part to resurrecting his career tonight.
Pays. Hodges on a long lead. David Kernahan, who has done very well. Dean, who's had 4 goals kicked on him, takes a bounce. Squares it or goes wide to Dorotic, who certainly put in. Patterson, who's come on for Smith. Herman, a good tackle on him. Klug, or dumping one handball cleverly. Brown, McGuinness, the old back turn on the wrong side for him, and he kicks it out on the full.
So I think he thought of more glorious finishes to that kick. But he's a real champion, Tony McGuinness. He's only missed 2 games in 5 years for the Crows and Footscray. Averages about 550 possessions a year. He keeps running and running all day. Would do about 23 to 25 kilometres a game.
Spalding out of the back pocket. Kernahan the target. Falls forward. Oh, and again. Down went Patterson. Or was it young Sanderson that's on the ground? Meantime, the ball's gone inside the 50, but most of the attention centred back towards the middle of the ground. That's Sanderson who took a high one.
Yes, we see John Dorotic coming in here. A little bit of a late manoeuvre there. We saw Paul Patterson, who's a Special Forces police, but didn't come in and maybe have a few words to say. Darren Smith also suffering from a heavy knock.
Well, that's twice now from Carlton. They've done the wrong thing in the last 5 minutes. Maybe you can forgive one, but not 2.
There's been a report made there too. I'm pretty sure it's Dorotic. Would have to be, wouldn't it?
Would have to be, and it's
Be lucky if it wasn't.
Be unlucky if you're the recipient if it wasn't. But yeah, definitely a report made.
So Maynard, I think, is going to take a kick, is he? Or where will they locate the ball eventually?
Wonder if Neil
Sanderson,
Buzzy's
in fact.
watching tonight.
No, Sanderson won't take the kick. He's coming off. So McDermott waiting to come back on. Quite a contrast there. The youngster for the veteran. And the umpire talking to Stephen Kernahan on the mark, explaining his course of action. He's been the umpire. And we think there's been a report, as Maynard now does have the ball and kicks inside the 50. Off hands. Comes forward. Reynolds couldn't control it. Out comes Dean. And there's a bit going on again back on the half-forward line, away from the action. There it is. And some of the Adelaide players not happy. I think McDermott came on and made a beeline for O'Sullivan. Meantime, Patterson takes the mark. McGuinness goes over the top, and Marshall has got it.
And on his left foot towards centre half forward, Jamison with a fly. Bradley will put the pressure there on Kernahan. Spalding. Carlton just panicking a bit here. Reynolds trying to get out of trouble. Patterson. Kernahan's got him. Good tackle. Pays didn't steady. Could have. Bradley's got to sit and wait. This will take courage. Kept his eye on it all the way, and he's away. He's had a lot of touches tonight. Many of them in defence for Bradley. Kernahan outnumbered him again. Patterson. Handball on. Fodia missed it. Lee looks for a free kick. Gets one.
Yeah, they've lost the plot here, Carlton. They're playing the man, scragging, scruffing. And the Crows are just going the ball, and they'll end up winning this and winning it quite well.
11-5, 6-7, 50 metres against Saliba.
It wasn't surprising to see McDermott come on and remonstrate with Sullivan. It's quite a tough initiation for Sanderson in his first game, and he's almost would be a fatherly figure to the young player.
I'd love to hear that.
Sure he would.
Glasgow with 50 metres. Now Hannah the target. Again leads to half forward. At the back, Tasker, who seems to have worked Hannah out after Hannah had made a promising start. Tapped on by Pays cleverly to Tregenza, to McDermott, to Bickley, to Saliba, who could have gone on again to Liptak. Decided to go long. Hodges, still Scotty. Will he kick this one? close. It's a goal. Two to Hodges. 12-5, 6-7.
Yes, well, just rewards for Scott Hodges. He's worked extremely hard tonight. Left-hand handball there. I just want you to have a look in the goals here as we see the ball shepherded through. Possibly one for the umpires to look at, but here's Scott Hodges swinging around. And watch for the big shepherd. There it is.
'77 plays 43. Adelaide decisively now. Spalding gets it down to O'Sullivan, not a crowd favourite. Penetrating kick inside the attacking 50. Tasker fisting away. Here's Kernahan, keeping his head down once more, cleverly back to O'Sullivan, who pulls it back from 20 metres out and kicks a goal.
Yes, well, great running there from Luke O'Sullivan. He was the one that penetrated the kick into the forward line, kept going down. We see blood streaming from his nose at the present time. I wonder if Chris McDermott had anything to do with that, but he finished off roving his own kick. Burst through the pack was Arceri. A bit of a fumble here, but the ball gets spun out, and there's O'Sullivan, who's done the hard running and finishes off with a good goal.
Now, Gerard, he's bleeding from the nose. Does that mean he has to come off? What's the rule here?
Well, there isn't really a rule. The medical staff in the AFL have set down guidelines, and the AFL have agreed with them in principle, but they haven't actually set down a set rule. And I don't really know how they're going to enforce it. A player under the rules like O'Sullivan there will have to come off, but it seems ridiculous in today's football, in a collision sport, how you can be taking players on and off. And a can of worms, Bruce.
Pittman to half forward. Ingerson in the front spot. Glasgow on the up. Gives it across. Bradley sitting underneath it. A ball from Sexton. Now Brown to Dorotich. Hannah. Tasker with him. Getting back Pittman. Fodia cleverly. Still Fodia off the ground. Good try. Behind. 7-8, 12-5. What's the situation with Smith, Max?
Bruce, Darren Smith whacked behind the ear, a little bit of blood there, and also, as one would expect, he's a little dizzy. Brenton Sanderson in the same situation, minus the blood.
McDermott short to McGuinness.
Well, this blood issue is going to obviously bring up the interchange issue. We'll have Kevin Sheedy once again asking for 3 or 4 interchange players. I think he's got every right.
McGuinness from half back towards the wing. Dorotich couldn't hang on. Marshall comes away with it. Good hand pass, sends Klug away. He pulls it back, intended for Jamison. Dean did well. Spalding over the ball. Down he goes, holding his head, and he's going to get the free kick. Well, Spalding.
Well, here's the replay. We see Spalding got his eyes on the ball. And Jamison let an errant left arm go and copped Spalding right in the nose.
No doubting that free kick. Spalding. Little chip pass. Sexton has it. 35,225 the official attendance tonight. A terrific crowd. They've enjoyed their football and they've seen their side win, with few exceptions, I guess. A few Blues supporters here tonight. Saliba comes away with it inside the 50. It was going to be a relayed free kick. Saliba was put down, but Hodges has the ball in any case. He's kicked 2 last quarter goals. As McGuinness comes off, a job well done. Rowe comes back on. You can write this one down. It's in the book as far as the Adelaide Crows are concerned. So they advance, and Carlton tumble out of the Foster's Cup. A good first half from the Blues. Meantime, Hodges, long kick, fine kick. Adelaide 13-5, Carlton 7-8.
Yes, well, Scott Hodges' confidence growing. He put that one through from the 50-metre mark. And a man that's kicked over 100 goals 2 years ago must certainly be able to kick them from this distance out. And I think we'll see a different Scott Hodges this season.
Three last quarter goals to Hodges, 83-50. Adelaide on their way to the quarterfinals. Marshall had the ball smothered. O'Sullivan, free kick to Carlton, coming back to Arceri. Low drop punt, not a good kick. Lee hasn't had to do an awful lot tonight, but he's done it pretty well.
Solid game as usual.
Saliba has had a lot of touches in this, the final term, when he came on. Wide to centre wing. Well done, Bassett. He's had a quiet one. Here's Rowe. Centres it. No free kick for Hodges. And at the back, Dean squares it to Sexton. Short. Not much happening for the Blues. Reynolds with a bounce. And then from half back, looks for Verbeek. Henderson goes with him. Maynard and Kernahan.
Without putting a dampener on the Crows' performance, one of their problems last year was also kicking a winning score, and we see now they're well in command of the game, but they've only kicked 13 goals. They're going to have to produce a few more goals from their ruck rovers, on-ball players and their wingmen to get up around that 17 and 18 mark on a more regular occurrence.
Saliba to Brown to Klug. Yes, they've got 7 goals tonight from the twin full forward area of Jamison and Hodges. Now Klug to full forward. Hodges again. Now Reynolds.
Spalding to the run of Arceri. Puts it out wide towards right centre wing for the Blues. Dorotic in front. Falls over. Patterson did nicely. Trapped the ball, then gave it to Pays, who spears the pass inside the attacking 50, and Liptak on his knees has marked this one. He'll kick from right on the line. He sparked them early in the third term. One of their prime movers as they pulled away from Carlton. So Liptak from 50 metres out. Good looking kick too. Has it got the carry? I think it may have. That's another one. Adelaide's 14th goal. They're 14-5 to 7-8. So since half time, they've kicked 8 goals to 2.
Yes, and Liptak has started the season in fantastic fashion. See a good pass there from Pays. Liptak slides in and finishes off with a lovely goal from the 50-metre mark.
So Adelaide right away now from Carlton. 14-5 to 7-8. 2 minutes remaining in this first round Foster's Cup match. Rowe out of the centre to Saliba. Gee, I don't think he'll be singing on his bottom for 3/4 next week.
I wouldn't think so. He's a player that's obviously got a good football mind. He grabbed that ball under pressure and still had the presence of mind to pinpoint that pass. And I'm sure Jamison will be voting for him to get a game.
Jamison's kick 4. Gee, he did look like McIntosh there when he got through the centre.
Yeah, I think he just finishes off with his kicks a shade better than McIntosh. He's got the same hairdo, though. I'll give you that.
Won't argue with that either. Well, it's a great kick for goal, Jamison, as he's proven. Fitzroy supporters will remember him. And he must have heard me because he's just hooked it for a point. But 14-6 to 7-8. He'd be pretty pleased with his night's work, Jamison. 21 years of age. 49 goals last season, and he started very well here. Here's David Kernahan in the last minute of the match.
Well, I still ask, where's Justin Madden been? The Carlton had a massive advantage in the centre bounces there in the first half. Justin Madden's hardly appeared since. And the Crows have just dominated all the proceedings ever since Madden went off the ground.
Dorotic, who's a protagonist in that incident 10 minutes ago involving Sanderson. So 90 to 50. Ingerson, Arceri, Sexton to Herman. Dying seconds of this first round match. Footscray to play Adelaide in the quarter-final. Good mark by Kernahan, wasn't it?
Great mark.
Now O'Sullivan. Will he kick his third goal?
Always tries to beat the extra player. Why didn't he kick the goal on his left foot?
Well, it's a good question, Gerard. I wonder if David Parkin will ask him the same one. I'm sure he will. Tregenza to some space. Klug and Sexton. Now Sexton. Left foot round his body. Siren about to go. Saliba. Just another stat for the young fella, and a good one to McDermott.
He's effective with his disposal.
Yes, he's been very good. Sanderson and Saliba. Now the siren has gone. And I wonder if McDermott will try and drop punt. It's not bad. Stopped by Dean. So Adelaide win 14,690 to 7,850. And again, they got a little bit spiteful towards the end. And a disappointment for Carlton. And a promising start for the Crows.
Adelaide kicked 8 goals to 2 actually after half-time. And bearing in mind Carlton got a very early one in the third term, then really it was all Adelaide in the second half. They did dominate proceedings. Their running players, particularly young Brown, Liptak, who came onto the ground, and in the last quarter Saliba, quite outstanding. So 14-6 to 7-8, I guess a true reflection at the end.
Yes, so the Crows advance. Don't forget that big weekend of football coming up. Essendon and Sydney, Hawthorn, Richmond, North Melbourne and Fitzroy. Check your local guides. Hope you've enjoyed it from Football Park tonight. Good evening.
A 7 Sport production, the network of the 1992 Barcelona Olympics.